Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Y'all, welcome to Happy Monday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. A show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today. And so before we get to said topics, if you please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. So now we're going to talk, of course, all the Grammy stuff that went on because it was a lot that went on yesterday. Pre-Grammys and during the Grammys. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we got some movie news. So we got to talk about Blade. We got an update on that. We have an update on, there's a rumor on which actor is going to be up for playing the role of Cyclops. We got to talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Child's official. We're getting a reboot and Sarah Michelle Gellar is coming back. So we got to talk about that. We have to talk about the Associated Press reporters who were disrespectful to Babyface. Like everybody went in on them, and they had some half-ass excuse. We'll talk about it. Even Khloe Kardashian went in on them, so we're gonna talk about that. Plus, all this story about Emilia Pérez star Karla Sofía Gascón, all the stuff that she was saying that people were talking about that she made comments about Oscar diversity. When bitch, you a member of the diversity department, so I don't know why you are here. Okay, let me hold on and not be so quick to jump. We're going to save it for when I got something to say because I'm going to read her big neck ass down to the floor when we get to her. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the stuff she said about Muslims. Even Selena Gomez, there was something that she said about her, apparently with the thing with Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber and that whole thing. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, of course, Beyonce, I was about to windmill you because I was like, girl, how you going to sit up here and say you're going on tour and then release no dates? Well, apparently she did release the dates this morning. So we're going to talk about it. Plus, we have news on The View. We have news on Wendy Williams. We have news on Heidi Klum, who's leaving America's Got Talent so she can focus on doing Project Runway. We got to talk about this last episode of Drag Race season 17. And Luke Evans is opening up about his childhood crush with a rugby coach. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. There's a lot going on today. So I was like running around like a chicken with his head cut off trying to put this show together. So it took me a minute, but we got it. So I know, did you miss me, bitches? Because I wasn't here. I don't think I was here. Wait, was I here on Friday? Oh yeah, I was. No, I didn't do a show on Friday. So I had took a 3-day weekend. I was busy. It was a lot of stuff going on. Let me shout out. Yesterday, I saw Sydney Sweeney. She was at my job along with who else was there? James Mars. I'm like, oh, he's fine in person. A little older, but of course he's an older man. But Cyclops, and he's in Sonic and all that other stuff. It's funny, we're gonna be talking about Cyclops, and I saw Cyclops yesterday. So I saw he was there. David Harbour. He's always at the Garden whenever we have some type of event. So yeah, it was Sydney Sweeney and Maud Apatow, so Judd's daughter. So it was like a reuniting of the Euphoria girls minus Zendaya. So, it was all that going on. But anyway, so yeah, it was a little busy. It seems like everybody besides the Swifties and emotionally immature pop heads enjoyed last night. The Swifties is mad about Taylor not winning nothing. She went home empty-handed, and so did Billie Eilish. So, okay, well, stay mad. In the words of Morgan and Michaels, why you mad though? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? It's like, look, Miss Mamas cannot win everything. She seemed to be having a good old time. Tay was up there getting drunk. She was dancing. She was applauding. She even cried when Beyonce won Album of the Year. So you know what? Go argue with your mammy. Go play in traffic. Go touch some damn grass. I don't know why y'all upset because Taylor didn't win. She can't win every goddamn thing, and she's perfectly fine with it. It's like, it's not always about the awards. And no shade, but I feel, I'm not even going to go into my whole Grammy thing. I'm going to wait until we get to the Grammy topic, and I'm going to give my overall opinion. So, at least I haven't watched the Grammy, but I'm excited to hear your take. Well, yeah, I watched it today. I didn't get to watch it yesterday because I got home late. So when I got home and I have Paramount Plus, it was streaming live, and I wanted to watch the whole thing. And then plus on top of that, everybody was spoiling shit online, per usual. It's social media. So I knew that was going to happen. But so I was like, today, let me get up so it's fresh in my mind. But there was a lot going on. Even Lady Gaga dropped a video, and bitch, I'm gonna say my thoughts when we get to that part. It's a happy Monday. Kylie pissed off basketball team in Australia. I know. I got all of those stories. That's why I was a little late because I was working on the Buffy story. I was like, wait a minute, now when did this Buffy story come out? Like, I was working on putting the show together and the Buffy news dropped. So I had to go in, I had to do the story real quick and then come in. And then it's annoying because when I'm on StreamYard, when I try to put, normally when I'm putting in the banners and stuff on the, like when y'all see in the lower third the topic of like the headline and all this stuff, I'm putting that in, and then when I was already done, the Buffy story came out, I'm like, let me put that in the thing, and then I'm trying to put it in the order, and then when I'm scrolling and moving around, it will not go where I want it to go, so it's annoying. StreamYard need to work on that. I need to actually, after once the show is over, that's gonna be a complaint. I'm gonna send them. Yeah, I'm gonna act a little Karen today. But like, y'all need to work on that so that we could put the things where we need to put them in the order. I know this is all tech stuff that y'all probably like, what are you even, like, y'all don't care. But when I'm putting stuff in order, I need to go in order because, you know, we Virgos, we're very anal about organization. But you said Cowboy Carter screams her own Drowned World Tour, just like Madonna. Well, look, the difference between her and Madonna is Madonna did an arena. I don't know why she trying to do this Cowboy Carter thing in the damn stadium. But if that's what you want to do, Deets, by all means, let's see if you sell them tickets, because I've seen some of them tickets. Them shits is already going for $500 and above. So I guess it is what it is. But anyway, let's move up to our first story. First of all, let me hit my banner. Let me hit our first topic. So yeah, there's some Blade update courtesy of, I saw it on Superhero Hype and Comic Book Movie was talking about it. But yeah, there's this scooper who I guess is kind of getting up there with Daniel RPK. Excuse me. And oh my God, what was the other one? Jeff Snyder. Almost forgot his damn name. I see my time to shine. H is getting up there with the Scoopations. But look, this has not been confirmed. So let's all take it with a grain of salt. Now we all sit up here impatiently, and I emphasis on the impatiently, waiting for this new damn Blade update. I'm sick of y'all still taking y'all time. Like, if y'all was going to figure out what y'all was doing, y'all shouldn't have announced Mahershala Ali was going to be a part of this movie when you announced it. But yet and still, they're still trying to figure out what the hell to do with this movie and how it fits in within their cinematic universe. So Marvel Studios' Blade, continues to face challenges with new reports claiming there is search for yet another director. The film reportedly introduced Lilith as the main villain, which we've been hearing that she's going to be a part of the thing. Mia Goth is supposed to be playing Lilith. That's always been the rumor that's going on around. So, and then they also said they're going to add a newly added male antagonist, which in a way I'm kind of glad that if this turns out to be true, that I think that is a good idea. I think you need to have a co-villain. I don't know if Mia Goth would be enough to be able to go up against, well, the character of Lilith will be interesting enough, or they'll make it her interesting enough to want to go up against Blade. But if you bring in two characters, that might actually work if this story turns out to be true. So they said while Blade was originally set for a 2025 release date, they didn't even start filming. It has since been removed from Marvel's schedule, leaving its premiere uncertain. Now, despite the delays, the film remains in development, where Mahershala Ali is still set to star as the iconic vampire hunter. Now, in 2024, Marvel Studios' Blade movie reboot lost its director again. According to The Wrap, Yann Demange is no longer directing Marvel's Studios' Blade, making him the second director to depart after Bassam Tariq. The report stated the parting with the French-Algerian filmmaker actually happened a while ago and was entirely amicable. This marked another setback for the long-delayed film. Now, along with losing its director, Blade underwent major script rewrites. Marvel brought in veteran writer Eric Pearson, known for Fantastic Four, to take over. And we're supposed to begin a Fantastic Four trailer tomorrow. I heard they dropped a teaser earlier. I'm not watching a teaser to get me excited for a trailer. Like, that's dumb. I'd rather just wait until the trailer drops, which I'll wait because it's coming out tomorrow. Sidebar. This has been a sidebar, I should say, because I did a sidebar already. This is a multitude of trailers that dropped this, or teasers dropped this weekend. They dropped the teaser to Final Destination Bloodlines, which freaked me the freak out. Thank God I don't have a septum piercing. And then they dropped the Megan 2.0 trailer, which I'm like, oh my God, this teaser is so gay, but I was living for it. So we getting, the movie industry is feeding us this week, along with the music industry. It's like y'all getting it together. So now they said, now to get back to the story. Now, My Time to Shine Hello on Twitter stated that Blade will feature both Lilith and a newly added male villain. The studio is also searching for a director again and is expected to finalize one soon. As per reports, the script is now set in a modern timeline with Lilith as the main antagonist. I'm glad they said it in like today, because I wouldn't think that they would do it in the past or anything, or maybe in the future. So, this has been a movie that we've been waiting for since it was announced in 2019. So that's literally, well, with Comic Con coming up, San Diego in the summer, that would be 6 years since the announcement. It's been delayed a multitude of times. They've gone through a series of writers and directors, including, at one point, Bo DeMeo was a part of the, the script writing. I don't even know if it was a team or if it was just, they would just hire one person to kind of come and give a draft, and then they would be like, okay, this is not working, whatever the case is. But to be honest, it's like, what exactly are they looking for over there? Because I don't even know what direction the next phase of the MCU is going into. We're hearing all about Secret Wars. We're hearing all about, Doomsday and all that other stuff. So I don't even know what direction these guys are planning on taking before we get to that point. Because I would think that by the time we get to Avengers, it has to be a series of other events that has to lead up to us getting those big Avengers movies. So I'm genuinely curious. I'm still a little peeved that we haven't gotten a Blade movie. And let's hope that by the time y'all get to a Blade movie being made, that Mahershala Ali is not applying for AARP. Because at this point, it's like y'all taking too damn long to get this movie made, and we need a new Blade movie. I mean, I guess the closest we're gonna get to Blade is when Sinners comes out, and when is it coming out? March or April? So I feel like that's the closest we're gonna get to a vampire movie with a black man in the, killing vampires. So we're just gonna have to sit and enjoy that until we can get a damn Blade movie on our freaking screens done the right way. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of the latest rumor circulating about this long in development Blade reboot? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Said thoughts on the potential bill about banning of anime and pirating websites being sponsored by Hollywood and the MPAA. Well, they're all doing that probably because they feel like they're losing money. But Hollywood's always been a little slow when it comes to pirating and stuff. I just feel like regardless of what you do, people are always going to find a way to get what they want without having to pay for it. So they could ban whatever the hell they want. It's not like they follow through with the stuff any damn way. And that's what I said about the whole. And in regards to the Damian Leone thing, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown in the Terrifier movies, has been going ham all weekend and going after Trump supporters and dragging their ass in them comments. And I've been living for it because he's been going in and just saying a whole bunch of stuff. And people are like, well, why can't you just perform? Why do you have to bring politics and stuff? And I'm like, you know what? For the dummies that exist in this world just for existing and don't contribute shit to nothing but running over their mouth and hiding behind a damn keyboard, while they just play games, jerk off, and smoke their blunts all damn day. Here's the thing. Politics and art have always coexisted. It has always gone hand in hand, whether it's musicals, albums, or whatever. There have always been politics that have existed in things. If y'all actually paid attention instead of just walking through life with your head up your fucking ass, then I think a lot of you would realize this. But I feel like a lot of people just go online and just say a whole bunch of stuff because they're bored and they feel like they can hide behind a keyboard because they'll never have the balls to say it to a person's face. So, and then Damian Leone had to pretty much, who's the director of the Terrifier franchise, had to get online and basically defend his films and say that there's nothing in my movies that is political. What are you even talking about? So I feel like people are just mad at going after Damian Leone because of what David Howard Thornton is saying. And then people even try to discredit him, saying like, oh, just because you just now came up with a career. I said, no, maybe it's because you just heard of him. And I always say this about when it comes to me too. Just because you are just now hearing of me does not mean I haven't been doing this for a long time. Like I told y'all, in 2026, it will make 20 years that I've been doing celebrity news and gossip. A lot of people have just heard of me yesterday or just this year or last year, and that's fine. But try to discredit what people are doing, you don't realize the amount of milestones and steps that you take to get to the point before you blow up. Everybody don't have overnight success. And the old saying is sometimes overnight success take a decade. Sometimes a little longer, but for the most part, it's like just because someone has been doing, you just now hearing about them, that does not mean that they don't have a long career where they've been slowly building to get to the mainstream breakout point. That they've been doing it for a long time. It's like when I look at the Grammys and they sit up there putting Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan as best new artist. I'm like, child, first of all, this is Sabrina's 6th album. And just because y'all just heard of this espresso and all this other music doesn't necessarily mean that she hasn't been putting out music for a while. Same thing with Miss Chappella Rowana, as I like to call her. So you know what? If people feel the way they feel, they can go play in traffic. And I feel like they weren't even real Terrifier fans to begin with. So I'm gonna keep supporting. People have a right to say what they want to say. I don't feel like David Howard Thornton or Damian Leone said anything remotely disrespectful or nasty or ignorant. Like, it's a difference between people who actually say things that is common sense and about having actual empathy for human beings versus people who are grifted out here and do dumb shit and support fascism and ignorance because they feel like they want a piece of whatever pie they think they want to get, like a damn Snoop Dogg or a Nelly, which, sidebar, shout out to, oh my God, who was it? Was it Janelle Monáe who went in on Nelly and changed up his song and called him a sellout? I saw that video on the Grammy. There was like a post-Grammy party or whatever. I think it was Janelle Monáe. She was funny with that. She did one of Nelly's songs, pretty much changed up the lyrics, and was dragging him and called him a sellout. And then we got D.L. Hughley going after Snoop Dogg. And I wanted to do that story today, but I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. So, because it was like it's way too much going on. Magical Mermaid, you changed your picture. I was like, who's this? I said, hey, Chris, I ain't got no hope. Me either, because everybody, you know what? As much as I used to love a lot of what Marvel was doing back in the day, I feel like I've been more or less disappointed than excited about what's coming up. So I'll watch it. I have more hopes for DC, although I did hear that story about I knew there was another article. I'm going to say that for tomorrow, too. There's an article about the estate of Superman is suing Warner Brothers Discovery because I don't think they have the ability to release the movie in other parts of the world. So there's a big lawsuit happening with that. Hopefully the movie actually gets released. Because can you imagine DC spend all that damn money on a new Superman movie only for us to never see the light of day? Like, y'all not going to do to that movie what y'all did to Batgirl. Or was it Batwoman? I always forget what that movie was called. And they said that movie was done. And then they just scrapped it and did a tax write-off. Beyonce got AOTY because they didn't recognize quiet as it's kept. And I said that, but I'm trying to save all that for when I get to the Grammy talk. I was like, yeah, but I do agree. I do not feel like Cowboy Carter should have won. I do feel like this is typical industry shit. It's like I even say it when it comes to movies. Just like I said, Whoopi Goldberg should have won the Oscar for playing Celie in The Color Purple. Instead, they realized they fucked up and they gave it to her for Ghost for playing the comedy relief. Of course, come on, stereotypes. Let's get sick. So they did that, and then it comes like they do the same thing with the albums. It's like you all know that she should have won the Grammy for Album of the Year or Artist of the Year, whatever the fuck it's called, for Lemonade. She should have won it for that album. And even Renaissance. But y'all giving it to her for Cowboy Carter, which quiet as kept. Majority don't even listen to that. And I don't even know why she thinks she can. Chris, save it for when you get to the topic. I got to keep reminding myself. Beyonce other albums were much better than Cowboy Whiskey. Not Cowboy Whiskey. He said he should have won for I think he meant she. I'm just mad Gaga sang a song. Can I tell you, I was so bored with that performance. I get California Dreaming and everybody trying to pay homage to the whole, wildfires. And it was like, we felt like it brought down the show, but we'll talk about it. Yeah, she should have said, Abracadabra, Abracadabra, whatever, how the fuck that song go. But I'm telling you, I was living for that song every minute. She should have won for Renaissance. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, she should have won for Lemonade. Let's get in the formation. I mean, we all did when that album came out. Attacking someone for working with a different political party than yours is so stupid. Exactly. Unless they're doing something that is harmful to the community. And David Howard Thornton, what he was saying was not doing anything harmful. Now, these other people, when y'all go and jump on the Trump train, which he's doing everything he can to destroy our economy and everything about America, which he did during his first term, but it's going to get a whole lot worse. But people got selective memory. People, I don't know. I don't know if it's like y'all need to wane yourselves off the opiates. I don't know what's going on, but America is got their head in the clouds. And I was like, and when I was at the Knicks game, the one where they lost, they got their ass beat. The Rangers, you know what? Not the Rangers. The Rangers actually won yesterday. Shout out to them. But when the Knicks played the Lakers, I already knew it was going to be an intense game because I had so many Lakers fans up in there, so many Knicks fans. And then it was just like, oh my gosh. Once LeBron got on that damn court, and the fact that everybody kept, I was like, what are y'all doing? Y'all leaving him open? I don't know. It's like the minute they heard LeBron, it's like everybody got spooked and nervous. And he just like spanked the Knicks. And as much as I love Jalen Brunson, which I'm tired of y'all saying I look like him, but but I understand like all the sports are like, yeah, now, did anybody ever tell you look like Jalen Brunson? I'm like, yes, I hear it all the time. But he was not playing, he did not play well. Hopefully he plays, I think they play again tomorrow. Oh, so it was Batwoman. I do too. I don't know why they didn't. They should release it. Cowboy Carter was nowhere near as impactful and amazing as our other albums. I feel like the impactfulness came from the debate and the conversation that we were having about the history of country music and Black people's contributions, or yeah, contributions. I guess that's the word. I'll stick with that one. And Black people's contributions to country music. I feel like that was more of the selling point for the record than the music itself. And we already saw that performance that she gave at Netflix, the halftime thing. And I'm sorry if that's what you're giving for this tour. Y'all better save y'all money for when she come out with another tour, because that would, in my opinion, it was meh. It wasn't giving. And a lot of the songs just did not serve that whole live extravagant situation, in my opinion. Now Jay is gonna say his right. And you see how he was up in there with the, oh my gosh, see, look, y'all all, I'm about to just not go in these comments because everybody's talking about the Grammys and I didn't even get to the Grammys yet. And I'm like, I just feel like by the time I get to the Grammy conversation, I'm probably going to say all the stuff I need to say. I mean, I'm going to say, and um, so yeah, we'll just go to, I like California Dreaming too. I just didn't want her singing that song during the show. But anyway, I'll get to y'all comments and stuff in a second once we get to these other topics. So now let's get into our second topic and let's talk about, there's a rumor going around that Harris Dickinson, who played in this film that Baby Girl, which I have not seen yet. That's I think the movie everybody's talking about with Nicole Kidman that was pretty much overlooked at the Oscars, which everybody's saying is a pretty good movie, but they're talking about and I think that came up in the conversation, people saying, well, does Hollywood have a sex problem? Because like all the movies that are revolving around sexual situations are pretty much being overlooked at the Oscars. So yeah, now there's a rumor going around that Harris Dickinson, because I'm not really familiar with him, but when I heard this story, I was like, okay, that he is in talks to be playing Cyclops in an X-Men reboot. And this is according to one of the other scoopers that we talked about earlier. It was about Blade, Jeff Schneider. And he was having a conversation with John Roca. And shout out to John Roca because I like him. He's from the Collider days, but he also has his own show. A lot of times, if you watch, a lot of the movie pundits and stuff on YouTube, he does a Monday show, I know, with Christian Harloff. So I watch him every now and again when he's up there. So he was having a conversation with John Roca, and they basically were telling him that he's in the run to play Cyclops in the MCU's reboot of X-Men. Now, according to Comic Book Movie, it says that now, even though we're still a while away from official news regarding when this movie is going to be happening, who's been cast, and all this other stuff, we don't even have a director. So casting rumors have been picking up over the past couple of weeks, and now they're saying that according to Jeff Snyder on this week's episode of The Hot Mic, Harris Dickinson from Baby Girl, and he also was in film in The Iron Claw and Triangle of Sadness. And they said might be one of the actors Marvel Studios is looking at to play the leader of the team, Cyclops, in a long-awaited reboot. This follows an early rumor that claimed that Jack Champion, who was in Avatar and Scream 6, as being for the part. Now I was like, wait, who's Jack Champion? I forgot. I was like, wait. So now I remember who Jack Champion is because he was in Scream 6. He was the one that played the other killer. I think his name was Ethan. It's funny. Ethan Embry is about to be in Scream 7. And then we had Ethan, who was in Scream 6. So he was the other killer because you know they had 3. Spoiler alert if y'all haven't seen it. Scream 7, I mean, Scream 6 has been out for a while. It's actually on Netflix. If y'all have not even seen it, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so he played Ethan, the other the son of Dermot Mulroney, where it was like the family of the killer from Scream 5. His family, Richie, his brother, sister, and father apparently were the killers in this one, in the 6th one. So they say he was up in the running, which looking at him, I'm like, you know what? Honestly, no shade, but I feel like he would be a much better choice to play Cyclops because he kind of looks the part. He has like that curly hair. He'd have to put on some muscle, which I don't think would be a problem, but maybe they want Scott to look a little more, they want him to be youthful but a bit more mature. And I guess with this actor, he looks like he has a sense of maturity in his face and behind the eyes. So maybe that's what they're looking for, that somebody who's youthful but mature. So it says Snyder does note that this is just something he's heard through the grapevine. If he thought Dickinson was actually in contention for the role, he'd have included the story in his newsletter, but he knows Marvel likes the actor and think he could be a frontrunner. Now, previous rumors have named Stranger Things alum Sadie Sink as a likely pick for Jean Grey, and we've heard that the Bears' Ayo Edeberry is on the studio's radar to play Storm. Now, Kitty Pryde and Gambit, but will it be Channing Tatum's Gambit, are also expected to be on the team. Now, y'all already know Kitty Pryde in the early movies was played by Elliot Page, who wasn't Elliot Page when the character was what it was. But and sidebar, shout out to Elliot Page because Elliot Page got a new job. He's about to be in Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey movie. It's funny how, like, when I'm bringing up names, I'm remembering stuff they're about to be a part of. So yeah, that news came out, I think, today or yesterday. The Elliot Page is going to be in Christopher Nolan's new movie, which is shaping up to be like one of the most epic films that we're going to be getting in 2026. So I'm excited for that. But Kitty Pryde, I'm like, yeah, I would love to see Kitty Pryde be a part of the franchise. And can y'all actually give Jubilee something to do too? Because one of the things I hate about the live action X-Men movies is y'all completely wasted Jubilee. She was either a bona fide cameo, you would just, the camera will pan across the room and you'd see some little Asian girl in a yellow jacket with goggles on her head, and that was enough, I guess, for us. But y'all never utilized her in any of the movies, and it was so annoying. So I'm hoping y'all actually utilize her and stop and get off of Wolverine's peen, because I'm tired of y'all staying at Wolverine's behind whenever it comes to acting like he's the center of the whole X-Men universe. Maybe he was when Bryan Singer, a section behind, was helming the franchise. But at this point, can we make it about X-Men and less about Wolverine? Please and thank you. Now, they said during a recent interview with Discussing Film, Kevin Feige was asked how it feels knowing that we're closer to seeing the X-Men and Avengers together on the big screen. And he said, it is extremely emotional on a personal level to have done a movie with you after 25 years and me being a small part of the first X-Men movie, and knowing that thanks to various corporate studio entity deals, we now have thousands of characters back, characters I hadn't frankly thought about in many years because we didn't have the rights to them. Now that we do, it is great fun thinking about who we can finally. Mary said, our animated series X-Men 97 was sort of the first taste of people reuniting with the X-Men mythology and that storyline. The response of that series just further excited us about how to bring the soap opera and the saga of the mutants to the MCU. So, yeah, it's going to be really difficult, I guess, in my opinion, for them to round everybody up in regards of, because they got a lot of the characters, like, I guess in the previous ones, because they had, remember, at one point, Marvel was so broke, they had to like sell off a lot of their characters in order to recoup that money. And so it ended up going to different studios such as Universal and Sony and so on and so forth. And so now that they're able to accumulate and get a lot of those characters back, now we can start seeing probably the characters we've already seen from the X-Men universe on our screens, as well as newer characters that we haven't even thought about being a part of the franchise that I feel like some of the newer generation would should be introduced to, and a lot of the older X-Men fans would be excited to see some of their favorite deep cut characters that have not even gotten the chance to shine on in any of the X-Men films or animated series that they get to be in this new reboot. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this news that Harris Dickinson could be up for the role as Cyclops? I mean, I don't feel anyways about it. I mean, it wasn't like my choice, but I'm just like, if they could find something to do with him, and I can see where they're going, because you want to do like a younger cast, but that they have a sense of maturity about them, then I say he'd be perfect. But I was thinking like the actor that was mentioned earlier that played Ethan in Scream Six, I would like to see him play the part. I definitely think he could play or playing Cyclops, but. But then he kind of reminds me of, remember X-Men First Class? Who was the character? Was it Havoc? He kind of reminds me of him, that was in there, because there was a guy that had similar features. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah, Jubilee was so wasted. Storm is always under you. Oh yeah, don't even remind me, because I've talked about that so many times how they underused Halle Berry, and it used to annoy me. But I was sitting there like one of the particular scenes when I talk about like even in X-Men 2, how how is it that you had Jean Grey holding back the water like she was Moses, parting the Red Sea, and then she drowns, and then never to be seen until the third one, and then that's when we're supposed to get the hint of, oh yeah, we're going in the direction of, you know, Dark Phoenix or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, Storm is all about the weather. She could have went out there and did all of that. But I see like what Bryan Singer was trying to do. It just didn't make any logical sense. And he consistently underused her. And then that slick mess, because she was like, I'm not coming in to do the third film until they broke her some kind of deal, because she was aware that they were underusing her. And they came in with a whole fake script trying to get her to sign up. And I remember one of the directors said that he wasn't doing it. I think it was Matthew Vaughn. He was like, I'm not sitting up there lying to her about a script. And to get her to sign on. And I'm glad he actually did that. But it was like, yeah, 20th Century was playing games, and it probably was rooted in racism. But anyway, let's go back. We said, I bet if Snoop Dogg gets Trump to help the black community, none of these people attacking him would apologize. He ain't helping, but the problem is he ain't getting nobody. Trump ain't helping nobody but himself to the Treasury, him and Elon, and our Social Security and all that stuff. Just went grocery shopping, and there were, they really, how they out of, oh, is it because that there's this outbreak with the chickens and all the other stuff that they were talking about? Is that why there's no eggs? Look, I told you I'm about to get out there and start buying me some chickens and raising them. I know Onyx said he got chickens. He got 3 of them, right? Wait, didn't you say you got 3 chickens? And I remember we talked about it on the show. I said, look, Sunny Hostin got herself a farm with damn chickens on it. I definitely need I said, shit, if I had the space, I definitely have me some raising some damn chickens, and I just be eating my own damn eggs. Fuck going to the store and spend it, because everybody keeps saying like, somebody said the egg was like 14 something. But I'm like, what kind of eggs are you eating? I usually do the brown eggs. Farms are being attacked for chicken farms burned down before Trump got into office. Let's not blame for every little thing. He shouldn't be there in the first place. Trump is just using him for his money. And then it's like, well, yeah, when he's paid you $200 million, you know, when he's giving you $200 million for your campaign, you have to realize that these people own you, which is why we've been saying for the longest on both sides that we need to take money out of politics. There should be no reason why people should be just giving you like this blank check of how much money they can give you. APAC with the Democrats, and all that stuff. And then we got all these other, and then we got the NRA with the Republicans, and so many other people. Now we got big tech giving money so that way he can go easy on you know MAGA, which what does it stand for? Meta, Amazon, Google, and oh my god, I forgot what the other one was. So you said, same people complain about Elon said nothing about Biden making deals with Chinese business. I said, look, I've said on this show many times, both sides are corrupted when it comes to the deals that a lot of our presidents are making with a lot of these corporate entities and how they're playing into it. And then Democrats do like a little smack on the hand. Oh, we tried to do such and such, but we don't have the power. It's like, child, you had the power. Just like when they was talking about the whole deal, we had this deal on the table about Gaza. I'm like, in May. I'm like, okay, so it's December. We're about to go into January. Or it was in January when it happened. And I'm like, so what happened in those 6 months or 7 months? You could have signed whatever you wanted to sign in, but you didn't because you were a hardcore Zionist and you didn't give a damn what happened to um, the Palestinians. And we know that Biden is a hardcore Zionist, but I just wish people had the same energy that they did for Biden and Kamala that they do for this guy over here. I would just enjoy the comment films already like, yeah. And I mean, I'll watch them, but I'm not going in overly excited and having high hopes. I haven't watched one Marvel movie since Multiverse of Madness. I was disappointed with Multiverse of Madness too. When I'm going to the movies and seeing it, I'm like, this feels literally like a Sam Raimi movie. Like he was doing evil, like he brought a lot of Evil Dead isms into Multiverse of Madness. And I was so disappointed with that movie. It just felt a little too hammy. Hammy? Yeah, it felt a little too hammy, I guess was the word I was looking for. And even the whole thing where they had like what's her name? The superhero girl that was a lesbian. And you didn't even announce she was a lesbian. I guess we was all supposed to know because she had a gay pin on her freaking jacket. I'm like, get out of here all that foolishness. But yes, as we said before, they were wasted. I cannot wait to see the X-Men Avengers in the movie. Yeah, I hope it'll be good. But I know Kevin Feige is a huge X-Men fan, so that's the only reason why I'm like, I got high hopes for it actually being good. Yes, you could have, but the thing was, they want, as they said, they wanted to utilize it. I guess people get intimidated seeing a powerful black woman on the big screen. But I'm like, it's in the comics, so if people can't deal with it watching a damn movie, then sucks to be you. You said my sister's husband has chickens. Yeah, because I'm like, I would just go, look, I would go over to their house and just get their eggs. You said, look, you want to know something, Onyx? I don't feel no waste time either. And guess what? I had me Starbucks yesterday. So, and I use my points, bitch. I was like, I use my points for my damn Starbucks. Sidebar. Can I tell y'all these shrimp? I don't know if y'all can see it. These shrimp chips. Oh my god, these shits is good. I was eating these before I was starting the show because I was like, I had to eat something. But yeah, I had some. I'm at a point now. It's like I don't even care about the boycotts. I don't care about all this other stuff because it feels like the illusion of that our opinions, our whatever means something. It's a bunch of bullshit. So I don't even care anymore because I just feel like it's all a lie. In the words of Carly Red, it was all a lie. And y'all can just kill yourselves for all I care. I don't care anymore. So I'm gonna continue to go out and just enjoy the things I enjoy and live my life and not be stressing myself out over stupidity. Because if they don't give a fuck and if people ain't gonna join together and because Americans are freaking lazy, if y'all not gonna sit up here and try to fight the good fight, then I don't care anymore either. I'm gonna continue to enjoy the things I enjoy and y'all can suck the shit out my ass with a straw. I don't care. So um, like I said, I'm like you. I was like, I was continuing to have my Starbucks. And the one thing I will say about Starbucks, it was about goddamn time y'all had that pistachio, the pistachio one, because I've been trying to get that drink for the past month since they said it was coming to Starbucks. Every time I would go to my specific Starbucks stores, and I tried 3 of them within the area, none of them had the pistachio. I forget what it's called. Let me go on my phone and look it up because I did just order it. While I had it, I said, "Well, look, I'm gonna just take advantage of it while I can because um, it's two." And I hate the fact that another thing, Starbucks. I hate the fact that it takes a long time to build up your points. The pistachio cream cold brew. That's what it's called. So I've been trying so many times to get that damn drink could not get it. And I was so annoyed. Finally, on Saturday, they finally had it. And I gagged. I was like, oh, let me go get it. And then yesterday, I had the largest one. So I was like, oh, let me get this again. Agree, it is all a corporate lie. Good cop, bad cop. And yeah, they not, and neither side, at this point is even good at it. Or maybe what it is they're not trying to hide it anymore, that they're not good at it. I'm like, who's sending me messages? Oh, it was I was like, wait, LaShawn texted me. I don't know if he's still in the building, but I was like, I'll read it later. The DNC is getting dry because their vice chair is David Hogg, and his plans are banning guns and making it stricter to get them. David says it needs to be a privilege and not a constitution. Yeah, because I don't know does it say, why is it a constitutional right to get a gun? First of all, a lot of y'all can't even spell Constitution, let alone y'all don't even know what's in the Constitution. So I don't know why when people always try to weapon up, it's my Constitution, right? I have a gun. It was like, what do you need a fucking gun for? Is it to show how because you lack in the area between me down there, you need a gun? Is that the reason? What is the reason? In the words of Cardi B, who looked fabulous last night, by the way. But anyway, let's get into the show. Continue and let's talk about Buffy because it is finally happening after all this Buffy the Vampire Slayer talk. We're finally getting a reboot and it is coming. And they say it's coming to Hulu, which, funnily enough, I actually started. I think I told y'all this that I started rewatching a lot of the old episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But yeah, now it's happening. So cue the Nerve Herder guitar riff because the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot is in the offing. Sorry. Now, this is according to Deadline, so shout out to them for this news. So they said more than 2 decades after Buffy the Vampire Slayer ended its 7-season run, the beloved supernatural drama is eyeing a revival with a new chapter in the franchise. A follow-up series is nearing a pilot order from Hulu, with Sarah Michelle Gellar expected to star, reprising her signature role as Buffy Summers. This is according to sources. Now, Oscar winner Chloe Zhao, a self-professed, a lifelong Buffy fan, is set to direct the pilot, written by Nora and Lila Zuckerman, who did the show Poker Face, which I never really watched, but I heard a lot of people say that Poker Face was good. Now, here's another thing. Chloe Zhao, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that, didn't Chloe Zhao direct Eternals? I need to look that up. I think she directed Eternals. Excuse me. Um, or y'all could do a quick Google schmoogle. Let me know because when I'm in the middle of doing a story, it's hard for me to like tear away and look up people's resumes. So now the reboot hails from Buffy the Vampire Slayer Studio, 20th Century, and Disney sibling Searchlight TV, where Zhao has been under a first look deal. Now, beyond the pilot order, they said that they hear a reboot is starting a new writer's room soon, a sign that Hulu and the studios have high expectations for this project going to series. It is unclear whether other original Buffy cast members would return. That is considered likely. Now, described as the next chapter in the Buffyverse, the new incarnation is executive produced by Gellar, Zhao, Nora, and Lila Zuckerman, as well as the original series executive producers Gail Berman and the Jackal Group, with Fran Kazooie and Kaz Kazooie via Sweet B. Also executive producing the pilot is, yes, the Queen of Country, Dolly Parton, whose company Sand Dollar was producer of the original, for those of you who did not know that. Now, Buffy creator Joss Whedon, who also wrote the 1992 movie the series was based on, has no involvement with the reboot, thank goodness, because but Sarah has said that she didn't have the best things to say about him. And I feel like, and neither did Charisma Carpenter, because she dragged him a lot in the press and stuff as well. So it'd be nice to see. I was like, damn, they need to bring her back. But then they killed her off and Angel. But can we kind of omit that from the story? Because I love Cordelia. But I feel like if there was anybody they could bring back to the series, I would love to see Giles come back in some capacity. I would love to see Willow come back in some capacity. If y'all just have Buffy and Willow, I'd be great with that. Xander, I don't know. He's been through some things in his life. I don't even know if acting is something that he would consider wanting to come back to, especially because, once upon a time, I remember, what was it? He was on Dr. Phil or whatever, and it was somebody he had addiction issues, and I think a lot of stuff was going on with him post the series, or may have been happening during the series. I don't know. The other actors haven't spoken, but in regards of this thing happening, I'm really excited about this because y'all know, as a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, and I remember because I was asking comments on my page, I was asking people, I'm like, are you guys actually watching? Who's still watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer in 2025? And a lot of people say, oh, they are. And then one person was in my comments said, oh, I tried watching it with my son, and he wasn't really that interested. And I guess it's because, a lot of what was going on in that era when we were watching the show, like the 90s or whatever the case is, it doesn't hold up. I'm also hoping that, can we get Eliza Dushku's Faith to come back in some capacity because I loved her. I would have loved to have seen her do have her own spinoff, and it was sort of like her be sort of like a big redemption arc, like her trying to make amends with a lot of the stuff that she did in the past, and her atoning for her sins in that way. So it's sort of like a anti-hero type of vibe. I would have loved for them to have taken that direction. Now, in regards of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm of two minds of this in regards of which direction I think they should go. A, Buffy is now a wife and a mother, and she's kind of like give it sort of like a long kiss goodnight, where she's like, "Oh, I'm on the PTA, and I'm a Susie homemaker mother type." And then all of a sudden, the dark forces start up again. Maybe in the town they're in, a hellmouth opens, and then things start. Her past comes back that she's kind of made peace with to go off and be a mother and do other things because we have a series of other Slayers that she's passed her power on to in that finale. So she doesn't have to be at the forefront. So you can go into that, and then something calls her back in. Maybe like one of her children has the gift. Death is your gift, as the original Slayer said. Would love to see a story in the original Slayer, who was a black woman, by the way. So I would love to see like them do that story, but I don't think that'll ever see the light of day. But in regards to that, I would love to see that, like, okay, so some dire, spooky circumstances comes around, and then she kind of gets back into the thing. Maybe that her daughter has the gift, and she's basically trying to train her because it's like, well, I can't pull you away from it because it's part of your destiny. I'm gonna just get you ready for whatever's coming. And then her daughter sees her mother kind of doing something or whatever, and she finds out. I don't know. They'll have to work it out that way. It's either that story or now Buffy has taken on the role of a watcher. So she is the female. I don't want to say female male stuff. That gets annoying. She's basically the Giles of the show. So I feel like maybe they could do something like that. I hope they don't go in a direction where it's very Hogwarts, where it's just like, oh yeah, now she's teaching a school of slayers and all that other stuff. Like, there's too many shows coming around where they're kind of playing into this whole academy thing where you're training children, because they have, like, we got Harry Potter being rebooted. We have, I think it was another show they were talking about, there was going to be like a school of children with supernatural powers or something or another. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but I don't want them to go in that direction. But if there's a way that it's like Buffy is now a watcher and she kind of gets to do way more than what Giles did, which never made sense to me. How Giles always got his behind beat, but he was the Ripper at one point. So it was sort of like, it felt like maybe that was sort of like an afterthought, that wasn't something that was part of his backstory from the beginning, where we're just like, you know what, we got to give him something to do because now he's just, regular Giles who's in the books and helping Buffy out with her training and stuff. But there was never that bit of badassery there until there was like one episode where they kind of showed that side of him, because I was like, that doesn't really make sense because he's getting his behind beat. But nevertheless, that little snafu in the situation, I'm actually glad that we're getting a Buffy reboot now in whatever capacity. I have no idea, but Sarah, you better start getting your stretches in, because yeah, you got to get back into that taekwondo that you was doing with the show. And I really hope that this show introduces the next generation to an awesome franchise, because Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a great franchise that should continue to be explored. I kind of wish they would have went in the direction of like rebooting with a new actress like a Zendaya or something, but if Sarah Michelle Gellar is game and she's ready to come back and do and fill those shoes, because I feel like we're in the era of nostalgia, which I think also is going to play into the next Scream 7 movie. I'm going to say my theories for that tomorrow when I talk about Ethan Embry now being added to the cast and all the latest stuff that's coming out about Scream 7. But for the most part, I feel like we're in this era of, like, I guess once you get into your late 30s, into your 40s, once that 20 plus or 30 plus period passes in film or whatever, that we get into this nostalgia period where we start looking back at a lot of old shows and then they want to reboot it. Look, we're about to get a reboot of Little House on the Damn Prairie. I just heard that the other day. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening. Everything that's old is new again, apparently. So that's the latest news on Sarah Michelle Gellar coming back for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's no big details on what the plot is or anything. But yeah, Sarah's excited. I'm excited. And so now I want to hear from you guys. Are you excited that we're getting a brand new reboot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer? And they're talking about that they're ready to go film the pilot. They already got a director. Sarah's ready to come back. She's out here working. And I'm glad that we see Miss Geller out here doing her thing yet again. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so She was in it. Mason Gooding spilled tea on Scream 7 says Chad is dating April. Oh, so they got Chad is bisexual in this movie? Let me find out. Well, first of all, Mason Gooding is fucking hot. So, I will make out with that boy in a minute. So there was a movie that he's in that's I think coming to Netflix that I definitely want to check out. But I was like, I wouldn't have mentioned that. So now here we go, but it's woke and I was like, but then again, they're twins. So if you're playing twins, and you have one that's straight and one that's not straight, because Jasmine Savoy Brown's Mindy is a lesbian, then it's like I could totally see him dating a guy and a girl. But I'm like, who is the guy that he's hooking up with? Because is it Ethan Embry? Because I used to love me some Ethan Embry back in the day. You said, "What's up, Wendy Eyes?" Well, who you calling? Talking about Wendy's eyeballs. Are you saying good? I don't know what good for, but nevertheless, you said I heard Scream 7 is going to do a deep fake and AI to freak out Sydney. Well, yeah, I heard that too. That was actually going to be the theory I was going to bring up tomorrow. That with because in my opinion, that's what makes all this make sense. Because I said, like, in our era, but like, remember this, and you know what made me think about this? There was a story, and I didn't talk about it on the show, but there was a story that came out a couple of weeks ago, and I'll probably bring this up again tomorrow when I talk about it on the regular topic. That there was a woman who literally thought that she was in a relationship with Brad Pitt and was sending this guy hundreds of thousands of her dollars. And we're at a point now when you can do a whole AI fake out, and people literally will believe that they're talking to someone that is of that person. And now what you're doing is you have someone who has the technology to be able to deep fake all the killers from the past. Because there's word on the curb that Jill is coming back too. So they're bringing every killer where they have them do all the fake outs and stuff. And I guess they want them to come in and do like voice, not voice. Well, they have to get the voice, but what they do, the motion capture thing, where they basically you have to go into the AI, the computer, whatever, and then they will interject it into whatever it is that they're using. So it could be like FaceTime or whatever the case is, and you're literally thinking that you're talking to this person. I feel like that's a cool way to play around with, since who the hell has landlines anymore? So we have to update the situation. So I do think the whole deep fake AI tech thing works for this movie, and using the fact of past killers and you sitting there and trying to freak her out, and there's a whole mental institution situation that's going up where they said that either the person who leaves the mental institution gets hit by Sydney or Gail, hence why we get Mark Consuelos's reporter person that comes in, and it's kind of like the antithesis to Gail Weathers, because we like Gail Weathers now. Before she was a bitch when, during the early season, but we've come to love Gail. Gail's not that girl anymore. She has her moments, but she's not that hardcore, just mean, it's all about the story, excuse me, situation. I think now Mark Consuelos' character is that person, the old school Gail. She's evolved. Yeah, so I've been hearing about that, but I'm tired of people like trying to spill too much from it. Not you, but I'm just talking about like a lot of like the usual ones that I watch, like the critical overlords and stuff. And he's like, well, y'all shouldn't be watching my show if you don't want the spoilers. I'm like, you can tell things in a way we don't spoil every aspect of what you heard. You could do a separate video, but you know what I said? Get your coins, because a lot of them, that's why they be doing what they do. I wonder why we never got a Storm origin movie like we did with, because she's black. And then, according to Hollywood, black people can't sell movies. So we should get a Storm movie. I don't know why we got, just like Wolverine had to go get it. And I think it's because the way Hollywood was going about it, he was such this enigmatic character and he stood out. So that's why they focused more on Wolverine versus all the other characters. But Storm should have gotten her own movie. Yeah, she could star in Scream 8 with them big old titties that she was showing off last night that needed some damn support. I'm like, child, I don't want to see her stank ass naked, except Kanye, who probably is on that Ozempic or probably got some liposuction. Okay, so now let's get into what is the next story that we're supposed to be doing? Oh, we gotta get before we get to the Grammy stuff, and that is coming up. We got to get into the Oscars because this whole situation about Karla Sofia Gascon, I feel like this may affect her at the Oscars. Now, no shade. I didn't feel like she was going to win an Oscar anyway. My choice would either be I honestly want Demi Moore to get it. That's like my top choice. No shade to any of the other women, but Demi Moore is my choice of getting Best Actress. But I feel like with all this stuff that's coming out about Karla, she didn't have a chance. But I also think that she shouldn't even go to the Oscars at this point because I feel like it's going to be a distraction. And for this whole elephant in the room situation, I don't think you can ignore it because people will go on social media and they'll be talking mad shit. So, for those of you who are not familiar with what's going on, Emilia Pérez star and Oscar nominee Karla Sofia Gascon has been under fire over some past tweets that came out to haunt her, including her opinion on Muslims, George Floyd, and diversity at the Oscars. And she also went in allegedly on Selena Gomez, which she debunked and said that was taken out of context. That's not what she said. So I'll get to her apology in a second, but I want to give y'all an idea of what was said. Now, this goes back as far as 2020. So this is like not even 5 years. Well, 2025 will make 5 years, but that's November. So November 22nd, 2020, she said the following. She said, I'm sorry. Is it just my impression or there is more or is there more Muslims in Spain? Every time I go to pick up my daughter from school, there are more women with their hair covered and their skirts down to their knees. Next year, instead of English, we'll have to teach Arabic. And shout out to Variety, who independently translated the tweets. Now, another 2020 post that was independently translated said the following, and it attached a photo of a Muslim family in a restaurant, including a woman in a burqa, and read the following. It said, Islam is marvelous without any machismo. Women are respected, and when they are so respected, they are left with little square hole on their faces for their eyes to be visible in their mouths, but only if she behaves. Although the dress is although they dress this way for their own enjoyment, how deeply disgusting of humanity. Well, this is I'm not even going there with that. I was like, who's she trying to say with the whole the eyes be visible in their mouths? Are you talking? Is that a Joella Reed? Are you trying to read? You trying to come for Joella's runway look from last week's Drag Race? Because that's what she had with that horrible ass tampon dress that she had on. That she came down the runway. Only thing was visible was her mouth. That was like a glory hole, very own glory hole. Now, in another post of 2021, she wrote, I am so sick of so much of this shit, of Islam, of Christianity, of Catholicism, and of all the fucking beliefs of morons that violate human rights. Well, if that's her way of talking about like the hypocrisy of religion and how they like to indoctrinate their opinions and views on other people, I can totally understand why she would come out and say that. But in regards of you constantly going in on Muslim, like, what's your beef with them? Like, have you not even watched Elite? How many Muslim characters? We had what the hell's his name? Um, Omar Ayuso and the girl that played his sister when it was on Elite. They were Muslim. So like you just waking up today and realize there's Muslim people in Spain? Like, bitch, where you been? Like, this is not new. There's a lot of people. Well, from according to a friend of mine, there's not a lot of people of color who do drag. I mean, if they are, they're like a part of the gypsy community, which I know is an offensive word to say, but they exist. So then she went on and said this about George Floyd in a post from 2020, who y'all know was killed by a police officer and inspired protests across the United States. She said, I really think that very few people ever cared about George Floyd, a drug addict swindler, but his death has served to once again demonstrate that there are people who still consider Black people to be monkeys without rights and consider policemen to be assassins. They're all wrong. So is that what she's trying to say is that his death is basically saying that Black people are considered to be monkeys without rights. So you can just do whatever you want to them without any consequence. And then police are looked at as assassins. Well, we all know that not all police officers act this way, but there are police officers that are racist, that take a lot of their anger, power, and because they have the power, they enact their anger and racism and xenophobia and homophobia and transphobia out on other people. So is that what she's trying to say? Because I don't know if you can really get a deep opinion on stuff in a tweet. I need her to explain all of this. Then she went and said the following about the Oscars. She said more and more of the hashtag Oscars are looking like a ceremony for independent and protest films. I didn't know if I was watching an Afro-Korean festival, a Black Lives Matter demonstration, or the 8 a.m. Or the 8 millimeter. Sorry. Apart from that, an ugly, ugly gala. Yeah, bitch, a gala you try to assert yourself in by actually getting nominated for an Oscar, and now you're a part of the room. So 2021, you had all that shit to say, but now that you're in the room, all of a sudden you want to backpedal. And what your dumbass should have did was delete all of these damn tweets before they came back to haunt you. So now we at a point where you are the first trans woman to be nominated for an Oscar, and I know glad that everybody was hating on it. Which, whatever. This is the shit y'all need to be hating on instead of, damn, this is a movie that's setting trans people back 50 years. And be like, no, the fuck it isn't. My thing is, it's a story being told about a trans person, and you cannot sit and think that all trans stories should be told a certain way in order for y'all to feel comfortable and celebratory. Now, the stuff that Karla has said, in my opinion, I'm a little confused by. I think I'm trying to understand where she was going with this, but it's just in poor taste, and you can't really get your full opinion about certain things when it comes to politics and the way of the world in a damn tweet. But I guess, when you on Elon Musk's Twitter, which I don't think at the time, I'm trying to think, I don't remember, when did Elon take over Twitter? I don't think it was 2021. So this is when Jack Dorsey was there and his people. So you was off just saying all kinds of other stuff and not realizing it. But I also think that at this point, people like her need to realize that the things y'all say, if you're going to be in this world, you're going to be one of those independent artists who eventually is going to slither their way into the mainstream, that you have to be careful of the tweets and things that you put out there and the certain things you say, because this will come back to haunt you. Now, before I get to her apology, let's actually get to what she said about Miss Bieber, as in Haley, and Selena Gomez. I was like, wait, where is the story? Because I was like, I got a multitude of windows open. So yeah. So now they said on a Saturday night interview with CNN in Espanol, Karla Sofía Gascón said the viral tweet in which she appeared to call her Emilia Pérez co-star Selena Gomez a rich rat is completely fabricated. Now, we already talked about what she said in regards of the diversity of the Oscars and Muslims and all that other stuff. So she said this, allegedly. She's a rich rat who plays the poor bitch whenever she can and will never stop bothering her ex-boyfriend and his wife. And this is basically what they said that she had said per the Latin Times. Now, the quote drew attention from media outlets like People, but the Academy Award nominee says the comment was not hers. She said, of course, that's not mine. I've never said anything about my partner. I would never refer to her that way. Now, Variety has learned that the CNN interview was set up by Gascón outside the influence of Emilia Pérez distributor Netflix. The day prior, I will say that she did go to Instagram and to share a lengthy response regarding the social media controversy, making similar claims about how her words were manipulated or taken out of context. So she said, they have already won. They have achieved their objective to stain my existence with lies or things taken out of context. Anyone who knows me knows that I am not a racist. And she has in parentheses, you will be surprised when you find out that one of the most important people in my current life and that I love the most is Muslim, end quote, or in parentheses, nor any of the things for which I have been judged or condemned without trial and without option to explain true intention. I have always fought a more just society and for a world of freedom, peace, and love. I will never support wars, religious extremism, or the oppression of races and peoples. Okay, so now I totally understand where she's coming from with this. So basically, what a lot of her, and I think I was articulating that in a way where I was trying to dissect what she was saying. What I was like, is she talking about the extremism of organized religion and things about how people are oppressed? Where she's saying like that all stereotypes are true, especially when Black people are valued or looked down upon as monkeys who could be just treated like slaves or shot up or abused or whatever the case is, and dealing with things about racism and Zionism and that sort of thing, especially like the treatment of Muslims and things of that nature. So or I shouldn't even say not Zionism, Islamophobia is the word I was looking for. So I'm guessing I guess I was on point with what she was saying. But I feel like a lot of people are so quick to be like, oh, cancel her, she's this, she's that. But I just feel like, you know what? In this case, it's just like, look, if y'all gonna be in this industry, like I've said many a times, y'all need to be careful with some of the stuff that y'all are putting out here and some of the things that you're saying, because it can come back and bite you in the behind. Now, let me see if that was her official apology. She did. Okay, so she said this. I want to acknowledge the conversation around my past social media posts that have caused hurt. As someone in a marginalized community, I know this suffering all too well, and I'm deeply sorry to those I have caused pain. All my life, I have fought for a better world. I believe light will always triumph over darkness. So that was her actual apology, but she followed it up with the other piece, which I got. And I feel like, okay, we got it. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of what she had to say? Do you feel like it was just that her words were taken out of context, and that basically what she was saying was that, this a lot of what her overall complaints and things were about the way of the treatment of Muslims, of people of color, that sort of thing, rather than everybody trying to make it seem like, oh, she was being very disrespectful. But then again, that little Oscars comment, how do you explain that? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. You said Bachelor Baldoni is going to get. No, Chad, don't put that on him. Taylor Swift and Ryan Reynolds. After reading the whole thing, Justin knows his career is gone. So it's if I'm going down, so is everybody else. This Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively story is becoming too much to follow along. I beloved Michael Karpinski shaded Gaga for going back to the Fame Monster sound. And look, I told her we back in this nostalgia era. But people fear, do they? Because first of all, everybody keeps saying they want a sequel to Confessions. So, um, but people fear Confessions 2.0. I'm like, that's what the people said they wanted. So we'll see when we hear the music. So yes, please, she needs to sit her toxic ass down. Karla Sofía Gascón is a trans woman. So yes, when you were saying, is that a man? She used to be. Now she's a woman. So yes. I mean, that's what Emilia Pérez is about. It's about a person who was in the mob who transitions and becomes a woman. It's a whole situation. It's a musical. It's a mess. It's a whole lot. You're not being cute either. Excuse me. Yeah, let's not do that. It's like I don't think it's gonna be. I was like, what the hell was that? I don't think it's gonna be exactly like Confessions. Part of that depends on if she writes a song about Chris for the album and what it's about. I don't think it's gonna be a Confessions 2.0. I do think that if she's working with Stuart Price, we're definitely getting a dance record. But I don't think it's Confessions 2.0. But at the minute we hear about the minute we heard that she was with Stuart Price, that's immediately what I saw everybody in the comments saying, we getting Confessions Part 2. I don't know. Look, y'all still waiting on Lady Gaga, what is it? What else say? Art Pop 2 or whatever the case was. I said, y'all gonna keep waiting because that ain't coming. She definitely heard her chances of winning, and I believe she will not be present. But we'll see. But I don't think she was gonna win anyway. Is it? 'Cause I was gonna listen to it, but I kept getting distracted by other things that was going on. I was still listening to FKA Twigs. I love that record. And I was, I've been in the gym. My legs was so sore yesterday. Like I was literally in pain while I was laying down in the bed trying to go to sleep. I'm like, oh, I can't turn this way because it was like working on the thighs and all this stuff. So I was in so much pain working out yesterday because it was leg day. I could barely walk. So I'm sitting there walking like I had a dick up my butt. I'm like, why you walking like that? Yeah, I was walking. They had me look that work. Them leg up workouts had me walking side to side yesterday. So, oh yeah, and I saw his performance at the Grammys too. I was like, okay, that's a cute little synthy pop song. I mean, sounds like everything else you've been putting out. But I would not be surprised. I mean, I'll take your word for it because I don't know. I wasn't expecting nothing less from the weekend. The weekend is kind of boring to me. People want dance music. They don't want ballads. People hate ballads these days. Yeah, that's why it seemed like a lot of y'all was bored with California Dreaming and then Die with a Smile. I mean, That song is a ballad-esque. So, yeah, I mean, it's like a ballad, mid-tempo, something in there. It's got a ballad vibe. So, but apparently that song was a big hit, so maybe everybody isn't hating on ballads because one of Gaga's biggest songs, and I'm a huge fan of The Weeknd. He released all the best singles before the album dropped. Funnily enough, I didn't even know that he was dropping a lot of singles, maybe because I wasn't paying attention to The Weeknd like that. She could eulogize Chris with a dancehall banger like Janet did once together again. I would like to see her go in the direction of doing that for the next album. If she kind of do an uptempo, because I hate when people do songs where they eulogize artists and the songs be so sad. I'm like, no, it should be, death should be a celebration. Like I feel like when I die, I want to have like a New Orleans type of burial where it's like they're going down the street and they playing like that juke joint music or whatever, and everybody's outside celebrating. Like that's what I want. I don't want some old oh my baby's gone. And I got my tissue and everybody just falling out over the phone. Like, I don't want none of that. I've been seeing enough of my aunts doing that dramatics. Sidebar, I'm sitting there telling her all my business. I gotta call my mother and find out how my uncle's funeral was because she had to bury her brother on Saturday. And so I know she was just like, because I had spoken to her, excuse me, on the phone, and she was just sitting there like, I don't know how I'm gonna handle when Saturday comes. Because that's when they was gonna bury him. And I'm a little nervous and I don't want to put this energy out there, but she got to come back from California to New York. Her, my grandmother, and my sister have to come back to New York on Wednesday. And y'all already heard what's going on with these damn planes. So I'm a little worried about that. But it's her brother, so maybe she might focus on their early days, like when she first got famous. Are we talking about the album or are we talking about her biopic? Okay, so now, oh wait, no, that ain't where we going. We going here. Let's talk about the Grammys. Okay, now let's get into it. It took us like an hour to get here, but we here. So the Grammys happen. But before we get to the actual winners, we gotta address a couple of things that happened before the damn show. So I'm sure you already heard the tea that happened in regards to the Associated Press reporter that got called out for postponing actually for talking to Babyface and then saw Chapel damn room and was like, Chapel, we need to talk to you. And they dragged her ass. I don't know if y'all seen the video. We do have the video. So I was like, why is the Letitia James trending? Because I'm on the Twitter. So yeah, let's play that clip in case y'all didn't see it. So that way y'all can have some context into what we're talking about. And then I'll also have her apology. So please hold.
Yes, I think it's interesting.
Chapel, Chapel.
You guys want to do that? Go do that.
So sorry. Hello, how's it going, Chapel? Hello.
Good.
How are you?
Oh my gosh.
Now, of course, everybody was in the comments saying that was some rude ass mess that girl did. So let's call them. Let's name them. Because, we shady over here. So their names are Krista Foria and Leslie Ambritz. And they were speaking to the producer and singer-songwriter Babyface before Foria called out to Chapel. Now, Babyface turned to notice Roan and told the reporters to pursue the interview with her instead, which is kind of rude. But, I guess in this business, this is what they do. It's like, oh, you were hot back in the day. So now let's just pass you over for the next big, shiny new toy that's in the cabinet that I want to play with because now I'm bored with you. And, a lot of times when it comes to the legends, no shame, but it do take a lot of y'all a moment to get y'all opinions or get a sentence out. So we got to be attentive. We got to be like, we really deal with a listening ear. And Babyface, I guess, is smart. Like, you got to sit down with him for like an hour and do an interview. Like a Zane Lowe interview with Babyface would be everything. With these new highfalutin tweeter. These TikTok influencers or journalists now, where they're talking about with all of that foolishness, it's like they want the moments, they want the viral moments. Oh yeah, we got to talk to Chapel, blah 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 blah, and that's basically what she was pretty much saying in regards to that. Now she did apologize after they dragged her ass down to the floor, and we have her apology. which, hold on, let's go to that. Lisa, I don't know this queen on the end.
Kicking us off, but we want to thank you. But first, I wanted to say that I'm really sorry about interrupting Babyface earlier. Chapel Roan had come up, and there was a lot of commotion, as there is on these carpets. But I'm a big Babyface fan, and as are we all. And so I just wanted to say that I really apologize. But thank you so much for having me, you guys. It's been great.
Mm-hmm. And to that, I say, you girl, you are full of shit. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because as somebody who has been on many a red carpet, and y'all already know when it comes to situations like this, I have been on quite a few red carpets. Most recently, I was on the Drag Race season 17 red carpet. And yes, it does get hectic. There's a lot of craziness going on. It's a lot of drama. It's not a lot of drama, but it's just a lot going on. You have a lot of people pulling a lot of celebrities from here, there, and everywhere. You got a moment to get them on the red carpet. One, to get their photos. You have the photographers on one side. It's cramped. You have a couple of reporters, maybe like a good 5 or 6 reporters who are trying to get in at least a good 2, maybe even 3 or 4 top questions in before their client is moved on to the next person, because it's just like a barrage of reporters and you only have a moment to get everything in. So yeah, it's hectic. If this is your first time at the rodeo, sis, then this may not be a situation that you're behind need to be a part of, but you have to learn how to center the chaos. Now, the thing is, I'm not buying it. I do not believe that it was a lot going on. The fact of the matter was, you were talking to Babyface, who was an icon and a legend and the moment in the music industry, has worked with everybody and anybody who is somebody in this business. And you decided to pass him over because you saw Chapel and you wanted a moment. So just say that. But I know in a lot of times in this industry, nobody wants to actually admit why they do the bullshit that they do. They get so wrapped up in the backlash that they can't see the forest for the trees. So one person said, "Not accept that she needs to personally apologize to him." And then another person said, "I agree, kind of, some things are excusable, but she visually disassociated with him and it was just cringe." Miles Davis Moody, where's he been? Remember when he was a pit crew on RuPaul's Drag Race? Says she blew it off as far as I'm concerned, blamed it on hectic red carpet. All red carpets are hectic. See, I told you. All red carpets are hectic. Many a times I've been on a red carpet. Yes, it's intense. There's a lot of craziness going on, but I know how to handle it because I'm used to it. I've been in a lot of these situations. So, and then they said, and then, oh, this is the funny one. They said she is not having it. Let's go to this picture. They said she is not having it, child. Let's leave it on that. So, yeah. So, I just feel like with this whole situation, yeah, Babyface, maybe we need to educate Miss Mama. Babyface is a 13-time Grammy winner. Chapel Roan didn't even win her Grammys yet. How many did she win? She only won, she won 2, right? Or was it 1? She won best new artist. So I think that's the only Grammy that she got. So she got her 1 to Babyface's 13. And, it's cute or whatever you apologize, but I'm just calling BS on your excuse. And like I said, I just feel like the apology was only brought to the forefront because she received backlash from, her constituents. Now, that wasn't the only messy situation that went on the red carpet. Now we got Kanye showing his entire ass. Oh, wait, that wasn't him that showed his ass. It was his new porcelain doll, Kim Kardashian 2.0, Bianca Censori, who showed her entire ass and her titties on the red carpet. So she came up there, and also I saw Dawn Lemon, D.A. See, now I hate you because now, one of the friends of the show got me calling him Dawn, as in D-A-W-N, not D-O-N, because his messy behind, because, and I truly believe every word, he trying to slither his way back in the mainstream, because he was there on the red carpet, tried to get an interview with Kanye, and was like, he said, I'm thinking about something or whatever, because he asked Kanye a question. Kanye says something, he's thinking about something, probably thinking about why your life is in disarray. But then he went and and I heard him too, kind of motioned and told the security to tell Dawn that he's not doing interviews. Bitch, you supposed to be all mouth. You couldn't have told him yourself that you didn't want to do an interview? You got to motion to the security people to tell them? So Yeah, they arrived together at the arena in LA and quickly scandalized the red carpet with her Billy there going on. And then you had Kanye clad in black and black sunglasses. He actually looked good here. So I don't know if it's the gym or Ozempic because you don't believe in the gym. So yeah, this was the outfit that she wore, dress out and everything. And then that's the back. This is remember when RuPaul used to do that when she was on RuPaul, I mean not RuPaul Drag Race, the RuPaul show on VH1. This is the front and this is the back. We'll just keep it that way because that's the best she ever looked. Let's look at her back. Because the face, girl, you look like he done put some drugs in you, like you've been lobotomized. So she posed on the red carpet just to give a moment and then for them to be talked about. But then there was a rumor that went around where they were saying that they were kicked out of the event and were not officially invited to attend the Grammys and all the other stuff. So I will say this, that story is not true because I've seen a lot of people running around with that narrative because I know y'all need y'all clicks and y'all likes and you need your little coins or whatever from YouTube. But the reality is that did not happen. He was not kicked out of the event. I don't even think he was at the Grammys. They basically said that he came to the crypto arena, got on the red carpet with his new muse with his version of Amanda Lepore, got on, the red carpet, struck a few poses. She showed off all them breasts that need some heavy support. And then they took their asses back in the car and went about their merry way. But then they showed also they were at the after party, one of the after parties they went to. So they was out here living their best life. Take your ass back to Japan where you belong because we don't want you here. So then they also said, as for y'all who probably need to remember, his career is in the toilet at this point. And, remember when he had his unhinged appearance on Alex Jones's InfoWars, where he was praising Adolf Hitler and spewed anti-Semitic sentiments. So that pretty much put his career in the toilet. But he did have a hit called Carnival, a collaborative hit with Ty Dolla $ign, Rich the Kid, and Playboy Cardi, which, went to number one in the Billboard Hot 100. And then he released Vultures, which they said was nominated for Best Rap Song. I don't even think that song won. But anybody out here checking for Kanye and that tight ass song? So there was that. And then after that mess happened, now we can get to the Grammy winners. And there were plenty. And I will say this as a whole for watching the Grammys. I wasn't bored, but I kind of was, if that makes sense. I just felt like I understand y'all were trying to do all the charity stuff. And here's the thing, I don't understand why y'all out here asking people to donate and all this other stuff. Shouldn't our government be trying to help rebuild our country? And not just focus on, oh yeah, people send us in your donations. Like, do we even need a government if we have to be the ones that step up to rebuild what we need to be built in this country instead of, depending on, because y'all depending on us. So yeah, the Grammys was cute or whatever. A lot of great performances. When Beyonce got Best Country Album, whatever, she looked like she was stunned, like a deer in headlights. But I've noticed that's how she always been looking lately. Like Beyonce is like a shell of her former self in a lot of ways. She got up there. I know the clear people on social media were pissed when she won, but you'll be all right. They even showed one long-faced chick with a lot of tanner in the audience. She didn't look that enthused, but bitch, you'll be all right too. And like I said earlier in the show, when everybody had their opinions before we could actually get to the topic, I honestly do not think that Beyonce should have. Like, I'm here for her winning country album, whatever, because to me it's like a middle finger to the CMAs and all of they all over there who don't want to acknowledge Black people's contributions to country music. So they're like, okay, we'll fix y'all asses. We'll actually acknowledge her over here. And I know a lot of you clear folks was all over social media talking about that the Grammys was boring and the Grammys was trash and it's woke and blah, blah. You don't even know what the fuck woke means. It's called being aware of marginalized people, or people from marginalized communities. That's basically what wokeism is about. For y'all to try to weaponize this, it's kind of like that, and DEI is the new N-word, and I'm noticing that with a lot of you folks, because y'all ain't got the balls to say it, because you'd be swallowing your damn teeth if you actually said that to somebody. So now y'all out here saying these certain buzzwords or trying to change it back. And, conservatives have been really good at taking words that have a positive and turning it into a negative to weaponize in their own little racist, way. But look, I know some people was even mad because Tay-Tay didn't win nothing. Beyonce walked away empty-handed, but she has so many Grammys. She'll be fine. And she seemed to be living her best life. She was up there dancing, drinking, having a good time. And she wasn't feeling no ways tired. So I don't know why the Swifties is on social media getting all upset. Taylor can't win everything. Taylor always wins Album of the Year. This year she didn't win it. But to be honest, I would have rather Beyonce win AOTY for Lemonade or even Renaissance. To me, those were well fleshed out albums that had a real conceptual, story. The music, there was so many layers and nuances to it. I feel like y'all only did this thing because the Grammys always gets it messed up. So y'all felt, oh, you know what? We got to make amends for a lot of the screw-ups we did in the past, and now we have to finally give her Album of the Year. That's what it felt like. It felt like a pity win, almost, because Jay-Z took his Magilla gorilla-looking ass up there. Joe Camel got up on that damn stage. He hawing, which we know donkeys do. I mix my jargon up intentionally. With the animals and things. So yeah, he got up there and bitched and moaned during her little speech about the fact y'all kept overlooking his wife for the Album of the Year. And she finally got it. But it's like, it couldn't be like a real authentic feeling of, humility. And I'm sure Beyonce felt very humble to win. But like with all of that extra stuff that was hovering over it, it just felt like it took away from that moment for her to actually win. And I did like seeing that Lady Gaga was up in there crying because Beyonce got that Album of the Year. Which I feel like, it's about time she got it, but not for that album, because I was not a fan of Cowboy Carter. So to wrap all that up, there was a lot of winners. Trevor Noah did his thing. However, I will say this. Trevor, you are not funny. I just don't get how people think that he's funny. He is so Hollywood. I was just not cackling not once. And I know a lot of people did get mad at him over a comment he made about Shakira and Colombia and criminals and stuff. And that they're like, that was in poor taste. But I will say this, shout out to Kendrick Lamar, because you want to know something? Them 5 wins that he got last night in the main categories, that was a big middle finger to Miss Drizzy. Yeah, Aubrey, you got your ass handed to you last night, courtesy of Kendrick, and they using him to go after you. But I don't even think they need to use Kendrick. Kendrick is his own man. He don't need all that, but the industry, I feel like, is taking advantage of the situation because Drake has been problematic over the past couple of years. The colorism, a lot of stuff that he said in the past, the way he's gone in on the Grammys. So the Grammy community is like, you know what, we're going to give all of the flowers to Kendrick. And I'm definitely excited to see what Kendrick is going to bring next Sunday to the Super Bowl. So I'm really looking forward to that performance. So yeah, for those of you who are not aware what the 5 main categories was, he won for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Rap Performance, Best Rap Song, and Best Music Video category, making the Compton-bred rapper a 22-time Grammy winner. So he has a total of 22. And shout out to him. And can we also shout out, first of all, Teddy Swims did his damn thing last night. I live for him, and I told you I see him in person. He's very good. I don't know, something sexy about him. But Teddy Swims did his thing last night, but can we talk about Benson Boone and that moose knuckle? When he was sitting next to I was like, Hannaford, you better keep your hands off my man, because we're going to be having a problem if she thinks she's going to get her little puka claws up in that boy. You better leave him alone, because we saw him at the same table with her and Miss Medina, looking all shiny and new. She was like, she had that whole shiny sheen across her forehead. I was like, somebody get her a napkin. Because literally, you could broadcast some shit off that forehead. You could probably broadcast the entire Grammy performance off that forehead of his. But Hannaford was next to him, and there was some other guy. I think maybe that'd have been Benson's manager. And then, Heidi Klum and that other bony broad that was standing next to him, y'all struggled to rip off. This is why y'all need to be eating before y'all do the show, or in general, because y'all struggled to rip his clothes off. But then when I was like, ooh, come on, shiny blue out onesie within the moose knuckle, and then he grabs his dick at the end. And then people was like, why he grabbing his damn, because all that flipping and spins and, all that, the RuPaul's Drag Race pop dipping and spinning he was doing with that off that piano. The Southern people say piano. And then the other flip that he was doing, was like, yeah, things is going to get all, caught up in there. And that ass was gassing too. I was like, okay, little boy. I mean, no, he's not little. He's a grown ass man. But I was like, okay, I see you over there, Mr. Benson. He ain't had no. I don't think he had drawers on either. But I'm not complaining. I just want to give a shout out to that moose knuckle. Now, they also, DJ Mustard was up there too. Shout out to him. I think he's been going through it too with his wife and all the other stuff. Remember all that drama was coming out with her? And then they also said the audience at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles erupted to thunderous applause when, DJ Mustard accepted the first award on Lamar's behalf. Then they also said Beyonce led the way with 11 Grammy nominations, a career high for her country album Cowboy Carter. Lamar, Billie Eilish, Post Malone, and Charlie XCX each had 7 nods apiece, followed by Taylor Swift, Chappell Roan, and Sabrina Carpenter with 6 each. In a career first, Beyonce won for Best Country Album and Best Country Duo/Group Performance for Two Most Wanted, alongside Miley Cyrus. And that's why Miley came out earlier. When she came out, I was like, we say. That's why she said what she wanted to say, because they won that award, but that was off camera. Then Sabrina came out and won for Espresso, which I had to say, I liked her performance. I thought the performance was cute, where she was kind of going, it was like messing up, and then she at one point kicked the dancer, and all that. There was a whole bunch of stuff that was going on. I thought it was a cute performance. I like Sabrina, and I'm glad that she's finally getting, her accolades. She's getting her flowers. Who else did a good performance that I liked? Even Charlie XCX was cute. I like Billie Eilish's performance. I did not understand why Charlie did not bring Billie up at the end. Like, Billie was in the audience, but didn't perform. Oh, and I love Shakira's performance too, but we're going to get into all the other, and all the other things, because I know it's a lot that happened during the Grammys. I like Billie's performance. Charlie was okay. I noticed they filmed it at 2 different times, because when she was coming down that corridor with the car, that was not all happening at that time, because I noticed the hair was different. There was a lot more volume in the hair in the beginning, and they all had them a little skinny ass Gen Zers coming down with her. I'm like, I need to feed every last one of y'all some food. The way they was up in there looking. And then she came on the stage and was raining underwear. I was like, okay, that's cute. But Charlie, you need the stage presence, girl. Where is it? I need you to have some stage presence when you get up there. It's like the songs we given, your live performances do not. But I live for you, though. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, but I need you to work with a choreographer or something. Somebody help her. So yeah, so there was a lot of big winners. I told you, like, the big categories was all won by Kendrick. Producer of the Year, I did not realize how cute he was. Dan Nigro, he won Producer of the Year. Songwriter of the Year went to Amy Allen. Best Pop Solo Performance went to Espresso, Sabrina Carpenter. Best Pop Duo Group Performance, Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, which we have to get into that story and talk about that. So, shout out to Lady Gaga, who actually gave spoke highly. We'll get back to the other pitch in a minute, of the trans community. Shouldn't have to do that. But I love the fact that, even in these dire times, she is still an ally of the libidical community. That would be the LGBTQ community, for those of you who are not aware. So, yeah, so she went and said, she said, it's such an honor to sing for all of you. I just want to say tonight that trans people are not invisible. Trans people deserve love. And she said the queer community deserves to be lifted up. Music is love. So, yeah, she went and said that. Everybody, applauded. Beyonce was up in there applauding. Billie Eilish applauded. I'm sure all the homosexuals in the audience, closeted and non-closeted. I would have showed y'all the clip, but I don't know. CBS, I don't want to get flagged or demonetized. So, there's all that. But for those of you who are not aware, there's been this huge crackdown on the trans community, especially from the orange asshole in the White House, where basically saying that he's signed an executive order, because that's his favorite thing to do, signing that, because, once he learns something, he locks onto it like a dog on a bone. So he's rolling back trans and LGBTQ protections, claiming that female means a person belonging at conception to the sex that produces the large reproductive cell. And mind you, we're all non-binary until we get to be a certain point in our mother's bodies, and then we start to grow the genitals that we grow. This is why learning about anatomy and all the other stuff in school is very important. And it basically said that male means a person belonging at conception to the sex that produces so basically, for all this is saying the gender you were assigned at birth is how you should identify in the eyes of the Trump, oligarchy and law. So now they said, in addition to only recognizing two sexes, the executive order also directs the State Department and the Department of Homeland Security to require the government-issued identification documents, including passports, visas, and global entry cards, accurately reflect the holder's sex. So Gaga, who covered the Mamas and the Papas California Dreaming, which I was so bored with that performance, but whatever, has long been a voice for the Levitical community and has dedicated her philanthropy efforts with the Born This Way Foundation to LGBTQ youth. Now, before we get to the rest of the show and whatever else happened tonight, can we talk about Abracadabra for a second? Now, I did not watch it during the commercial break after she performed with Bruno because I told you I didn't get to watch the show. I waited until this morning and then it was up on Paramount Plus. So I watched it this morning. But it was already up on YouTube. So I was like, and it was like 13 minutes up there. So I was like, oh, let's watch the video. So can I tell you, I have seen that video so many times. I probably watched it like 8 times already. It was signature Gaga. She was taking us back to the old version of her. I was living for the choreography. I loved the grandioseness of it. Even though it was so simple because it was in one place, I love the aspect of like the two different sides of herself battling. So it was like the dark side and the light side of her. And it was just a different choreography. She was definitely throwing herself in there. I just even love, like, even in the beginning, when she starts singing and she's like walking through and then she's like this movement and all this other stuff. I was like, yes, bitch, you better pump. And it was like how they was holding her cape, which they said was made from a wedding dress. So just all those little details and stuff that was going into that, I just love watching. Like, yeah, it's just larger than life. We want that grandioseness when it comes from a big pop star. And she was delivering on that. I know a lot of people didn't like Disease. I like Disease because it was like, it's a cute little song. It's kind of like they set the mood of the album. But like when it was so many things, it was like the chorus and you had the pre-chorus, we had the bridge. It was like, she's taking us back to the old school way of doing songs. It's not these 2.5 minute non-existent anything on a damn song just because y'all want to get the streams to go 50 million times on a damn TikTok. Like, it was literally a standard pop song. And I was so glad the video was over 4 minutes. So I'm hoping that the song length, because I haven't listened to the song yet on like Apple Music or whatever the case is. So I don't know the full length time of Abracadabra, but I just know, like, from watching the video, I hope the song is just as long. And that's what we need in these times. So I love the fact that she's kind of giving us that. And I like the fact that she's experimenting with a lot of the industrial sound. So it's giving us old school Madonna, but it's more, old school Madonna, old school Gaga, but it's modernized. And like her use of the synths and all the other stuff. So I was just living for every moment. So shout out to Gaga. And then we got to also talk about my girl Shakira, who was presented with her award. And I was like, what did she win for? I think it was like Best Latin Pop Album. And it was presented to her, excuse me, by none other than Miss Jennifer Lopez. And I'm going to say on here, like I said on my show, on the social media yesterday, I said, child, that's going to be the only time that you ever going to see Jennifer Lopez hold a Grammy is when she passing it to the next person. And passing it to Shakira, she did. So Gaga wasn't the only one that got political last night. Shakira also got political and said, I want to dedicate this award to all my immigrant brothers and sisters in the country. And this is what the 48-year-old performer said. And I will say this, her performing last night, she performed a new song from her latest album. And she performed Ojos Así, which I was like, yes, take it back to the beginning, because that was like one of her first major big songs that she broke out on in the mainstream, especially when MTV was talking about herself. And I think she was 14 years old when she dropped that song. So Shakira's come a long way. She's been around for a long time, like from 14 to 48. That's like, girl, you've had like a 3 or damn near 40-year career. Her career about to last as long as Madonna's. So she went and said, I want to dedicate this award to all my immigrant brothers and sisters in this country. And also said, you are loved, you are worth it, and I will always fight with you. And I also love the fact that she sat next to, at the same table as Emilia and Gloria Estefan. So I love seeing them there. So that was great in regards to that. Now, oh yeah, we can't forget about, because I was like, I hope I didn't forget to talk about her. We got to talk about Chappell Roan winning Best New Artist. which I have to say, I lived for her speech. Now, y'all know any other time when it comes to Ms. Rome, that she works my root canal nerve in regards of some of the stuff that she says, because I always feel like she's bitching and complaining. But this was a moment where I felt like, you know what, sis, you better speak on the disparities in the industry, including taking care of their talent, which I've said over the years that the industry does not do enough of that. Y'all don't take the time to take care of your talent. Y'all will work them to the bone, and then when they can no longer work anymore, when you overuse the pack mule, you put them out the pasture. On to the next one. So yeah, she in her speech talked about the treatment of developing artists in the music industry. So she called out record labels to give a livable wage and health care, especially for developing artists, and said, it was devastating to feel so committed to my art and feel so betrayed by the system and dehumanized. She said the labels, we got you, but do you got us? And what she was saying is that, yeah, when she was, I think this was during the pandemic, she got dropped from her label. She didn't have any skills in regards to like working a job because she was so young when she got signed. I think she was like 14 or something or another. And she had no skills on going out in the world and actually trying to get a job. So she was affected by that. And people have to realize, like, in those years of where artists are being developed, there's a lot of money and stuff that's going into that. So it's like, I understand that the industry is about, we're loaning you this money in order for us to recoup it down the road. But the way that y'all trap a lot of these artists in situations and you don't provide them with affordable health care or health care where they can be taken care of and all these other amenities that they would need to actually give you 110% of themselves. Because there's a lot of artists out here who are working their asses off to support and not only give, make money for the label, but they have a team of people that they have to support too. And if you're not taking care of the person that's at the top of the food chain, that person whose name is on the marquee, then they can't work. They can't take care of the industry and everybody else. So I don't understand why that doesn't compute with them. So I was loving the fact that, at the end of the day, she spoke out, but she beat out Sabrina Carpenter, Benson Boone Doshi, Karangbin, I think that's how you said the name, Ray Shabuzi, and Teddy Swims. And I like Ray. She sang her ass off during that performance that she did. And y'all know Miss Chappella Rowana. She performed Pink Pony Club, which I was living for that performance too. So shout out to her in regards of what she did. And then she said, and then they also said, yeah, she won Best New Artist at the 2024 VMAs, beating Shabuzi, Gracie Abrams, Tyler, and Teddy Swims. So she won it twice at the Grammys and at the VMAs. So shout out to Miss Chappella Rowana. And also, shout out to everybody else. I don't think Post Malone won anything. I don't even think Shabuzi won either. So yeah, so let me see. Is there any more else to add? Because there was a lot of people that won. Oh, us also, so we can wrap it up. Best pop vocal album went to Short and Sweet, Sabrina Carpenter. Best dance electronic album went to Neverender, featuring Justice and Tame Impala. They had that song, and I do love Justice's new album. Best dance pop recording went to Charlie XCX for Von Dutch. And where she beat out her bestie, Troye Sivan, who was sitting with her at the table. Best dance electronic album went to Brat, Charlie XCX. So she won 2 Grammys. Best remix recording went to Espresso, which was remixed by Mark Ronson and FNZ Working Late Mix. Best traditional pop vocal album went to Norah Jones' Vision. I didn't even know Norah Jones was still putting out music. Best rock performance went to the Beatles, Now and Then. Best metal performance went to Mea Culpa, which is by Gojira, Marina Viotti, and Victor Lemons or Lemazna. Best rock album went to the Rolling Stones. That was a sympathy one, because who at their big age is still giving them Grammys, beating out Green Day, who had a great record with Saviors. Then you have Pearl Jam and Jack White. So yeah, those are all, and we ain't gonna sit and go through them. And I know St. Vincent won too, so congratulations to her. So yeah, those are what we have so far. I know this is a long one, but when it comes to the Grammys, it was a whole lot going on last night. It was a big breakdown. There was a lot of great performances. I seen it was like the Bulldagger Award went to Alicia Keys when Queen Latifah came out and presented her with the award. So I was like, one lesbian passing it down to another, allegedly. So she gave her that, and I know she made a DEI comment, whatever. I fast forwarded because y'all know how I feel about Alicia Keys and them vocals. roles where they always try to go where she wanted to go, but they never are able to hit that peak and valley. So she got her award. Then Kendrick won his. Shout out to Diana Ross, the icon that came out and gave Kendrick his award. And I love how he went bow down to her, because I was like, yes, a lot of you younger people, you need to acknowledge and respect your elders and the people that came before you. Same with them little two cackling broads that was on the AP red carpet. Respect your icons and your legends and the people that came before you. Because if it wasn't for these legends and icons, you heifers would not have nobody to talk to on that carpet and be making your money to be working the job that y'all got. So if I miss anything, definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know also what were your favorite performances and who do you think should have won for the Grammys in whatever category that they were in. Are you feeling like some of the people who won, it was well deserved? It was a good show to watch. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was a great show to be had by all. So yeah, I want to hear what you guys got to say. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. We do have a lot of comments, so let's go on up. Wait, what happened? Oh, I think I read that one. Yeah, she is really a female. Trump lost a Senate seat. It flipped good for his ass, and that's he gonna keep losing. Jay probably told Beyonce after she won, "See my rant work." Of course it did. You know, he got a lot of influence in the industry. Twitter is banning anything negative about Trump or the Republicans. People are leaving X now. I mean, weren't they already leaving? I didn't even know he did an interview with Bjork. I gotta watch her performance that she did the other day. It's in my YouTube. I'm so far behind on shows in regards to what I got to catch up on with YouTube, so I got to catch that. But you said, oh, so I'll definitely check out his interview with Bjork, because I love anything that she does. The AP interviewers were completely rude. The other one snatched them. Yeah, they both a piece of shit. Lie and my Kathy Baker. Oh, I think you meant snatch the mic from him. Chappell could have waited for the interview to finish or go to another press interviewer while they finished. Yeah, because that's what it is. It's like they have you go down the roads, whatever, and then you have somebody that's on the carpet that moves them on to the next person. It's like when I was working with when I was doing the drag race one, that's what we had a girl, and we was sitting there chatting and stuff too, because she was saying, "Oh, if you want to go over there and you want to get the pictures and stuff with the other queens, you can totally do that and all this other stuff." So, and then I was, of course, they had like this wine that was sponsoring the show too, so I was sipping, I was getting my drink on, and so I love the perks of working a lot of these events, and then also it was just like they have somebody who moves the girls along. It's like, okay, now got to move you down. You get to have your moment. You get to do the video, whatever the case is. And yeah, they have somebody who does that. If they don't have somebody who's on the carpet that's doing that, then that's Grammys screw up. And they should have had somebody there. And her not Punani. And I got accused of slut shaming her. I'm like, everybody agrees with me. It wasn't appropriate for red carpet. And they were not telling her and we're not telling her how to dress. Well, you know what? And a lot of these award shows, like I remember when not VH1, when the VMAs was all about outrageous outfits. Like you could do that at the VMAs. The Grammys, we've seen craziness happen there, but yeah, that was a bit much. And I don't want to come across as conservative type, but it was just like, I think it's because it's Kanye and everything he does is attention seeking. It doesn't even feel natural, like a thing that's supposed to progressively happen. It just felt like, okay, it is Queen pulling a damn stunt because he wanted attention. And I know Kim was probably sitting there at home just shaking her damn head like, look at this foolishness. And not to discredit Chappell, she's so deserving for recognition awards. I'm so happy she won BMA, and I love her acceptance speech and how she had the balls to call out labels. Absolutely. So that's why I was like, I love the fact that she called it out. And that made me like her again. Because, on this show, she be getting on my damn nerves with certain stuff. But I'm like, I like you again. I wonder why she stays with him, because Julia Fox left him after a few months. It seemed like she's being drugged. I know she's an architect. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I would say that maybe she stays with him because there's perks that comes with being in a relationship with Kanye. Cowboy Carter was a very Grammy baity album. I'm not mad or surprised she won, but I would have loved to see it go to Brat. But I'm glad Brat won for what it did. But yeah, it just felt very much like it was politically motivated. Why did Benson Boone have to apologize for crying? First of all, he has a dick. It's like he apologized for that. I was like, let me I said, I'll accept your apology. Just put it in my mouth. Like, look, I know y'all probably cackle on the other side of the screen, like, Chris, what are you saying? Y'all know I'll be saying some crazy shit on the show. But I'm like, no, never apologize for the fact that you have a dick. We're not Ken dolls. We don't have nubs between you down there. The fact of the matter was, what I think he was doing was, it was in the moment, he finished performing. Maybe he felt like the fabric was all up in his situation. And a lot of times, it's like, sometimes you get an itch, you got a scratch, or you want to pull the fabric down, or whatever the case is. And he was trying to be demure and mindful about it. Like he actually put the mic in front of his genitals, like it was sort of a shame thing. Like, oh no, it's like something could be, and maybe he caught himself on the monitor. Because sometimes when you in the moment of performing, you don't know how things are going to come across. You can rehearse it or whatever the case is. And I don't know if he rehearses with because I think it's all spontaneous. Maybe he did practice like, okay, so the steps on getting up on the piano and doing the flip, because he does it. Now it's a signature. He has to do it every time. It's kind of like Ellen DeGeneres. Every episode she had to come out and do that stupid dance to get her seat. Now it's like it's a requirement that Benson Boone has to do somersaults and stuff on stage. He can do it as long as he can. Let's just hope that you don't land wrong and you end up with a boot on your foot. So let's see this young man do whatever he does as long as he does. But I do agree, like he shouldn't have had to apologize for the crotch grab. In fact, I was thoroughly entertained. Benson Boone is so unserious. And then he adjusted his crotch after doing all those flips. He was adjusting the pants because them pants was all up in his thing. That new Gaga song is a chop. It sounds a lot like I'm just living that life on Dutch. Really? Because I didn't get that from that, but I do like the song. I wouldn't say non-binary until we get it to be into a certain point. LOL, that bait for the Republicans. I'm pre-ordering Mayhem on her web store as it has a bonus track not available anywhere else on the CD and vinyl. I think one of my friends bought the vinyl for one of the albums because I don't know. I wasn't really that impressed with any of the album covers. Oh, you said Abracadabra is 3 minutes and 56 seconds. Oh, okay. So it was a little longer because I guess all the other stuff they added into the video was making it. You said you like the new Gaga, but I don't. How the tables have turned. I know it's like you don't like her, and now I do. And then when I wasn't liking her, you was liking her. I was scrolling through my phone when Shakira was up there, and I loved Shakira when I was like 4 or 5. Shakira been around for a long time. I was like, she been making music since she was 14. Any thoughts of Billy going home empty-handed? She would have easily, yeah. I think this was the year of let other people get their shine. So Billy walked away empty-handed. Taylor walked away empty-handed. Well, Beyonce got a couple of her Grammys, but I feel like this was a redemption year for her because the awards that she should have won, she didn't win. I mean, the awards she never won, she actually won, which was the country album one, and then the other record. Because I know a lot of people sitting up here sick and tired of y'all saying what is country and what isn't country. Charlie won also best recording package. Okay, so she has 3 Grammys, and she's supposed to be at the Brit Awards, right? Next, when is that? Oh, I forgot to mention the In Memoriam. Shout out to Liam Payne. The In Memoriam they did for Liam Payne was cute. Where they basically showed the audience was like going crazy and he talked. And we always saw like whenever you looked at Liam Payne, he always looked so happy to be up on that stage. It said that he's no longer with us. I was told both songs and record awards, so many pop girls that it led to Kendrick Lamar. Wait, what? I was told both songs and record awards, so many pop girls that it led to Kendrick Lamar because of the split votes. Oh, because it was like too many women and not enough males. And I also think that, you know what? Men need to set their pussy up. Sidebar. See, all y'all be talking about, I forgot, speaking of males, did y'all know that Chris Brown won a Grammy last night? He beat Usher, among others. I think it was best R&B album or whatever the case was for that 11/11. He won a Grammy. So when people sit on here talking about that Chris Brown is canceled, that people don't want to have nothing to do with him, the mainstream puts on all that pomp and circumstance. But if y'all did not like Chris Brown, y'all would not be still nominating him for Grammys and giving it to him. So the math ain't mathing. God damn, who the hell is texting me? Like, I literally have 8 texts. And now I got the health people sitting over here sending me text messages. Like, what is going on? Okay, you said, I kind of feel Billy is being punished because of Thank You Next controversy. Wait, what happened with that? I forgot. Ariana Grande didn't win none either, right? Yeah, that's look, you and I both in the same boat. Like, what are you talking about with Thank You Next? If you said winning album of the year, she was dragged badly. Well, look, people need to move on from that. Oh, so because they're allowing the fandom to dictate award wins. I just feel like the peers who are voting on this stuff, they don't remember all of that. Yeah, that's why I said, like, I don't understand, like, the internet outrage would have been, you know, why would they allow that to dictate who wins what? And that's why I said Grammys, like the Oscars, are voted on by their peers. So these people within the industry, the music silo, they're not thinking about what these trolls on the internet are saying. Who some of y'all wish y'all had a smidge of their talent and was actually out here voting on said Grammys or even holding a Grammy, let alone winning one. So I don't agree that that would be the issue. I just feel like a lot of times trolls are always going to say what they want to say. You cannot sit and abide and live your life by what other people are saying online. So I just think that it was just so much other competition, so many other great songs out here that it was just hard to choose from. That's probably why, like, she didn't win. And I don't think that Ariana Grande, well, I'm not surprised Ariana Grande walked away empty-handed because I don't think Eternal Sunshine was her best word. Even though, funnily enough, you have critics and everybody saying that this is her best work. I'm like, really? Because if y'all think this is her best, then it's not. Her best ain't good enough, apparently, because she walked away with nothing. Benson has the most generic music, but I just know it's okay. That's another thing too. It's like I don't particularly care for Benson's music. Why do you think he keeps singing that damn song? I'm like, I'm tired of hearing that fucking song. But you get your moment, Miss Mama. So you go up there and you sing a little song and you do your little flips. But he cute to look at. Direction is dragging the Academy after dismissing the group, especially except for Harry Styles. They're dismissing Teen Pop. Well, they've always dismissed Teen Pop. Teen Pop was never taken seriously, even when I was growing up, within the era of like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Britney and all of them. They never took Teen Pop seriously. The only place that was really taking the Teen Pop situation for what it was MTV because of the era that was, and MTV was popping and TRL. The mainstream never really took teen pop serious, which is annoying. And they probably feel like because it's manufactured. What makes you think these artists that you nominate ain't manufactured in some capacity? Okay, let me hold on because I gotta make sure all of my windows is closed. Okay, so we did talk about Beyonce a little bit. A lot of it. Did I even make a thing for? Oh yeah, I did. Because I was like, where is it? Let's get into her. So Beyonce finally released the Cowboy Carter tour dates. So the other day, what day? I don't remember what day it was. It was one day over the weekend. I think it was Saturday night into Sunday. Because I saw it like 12:30 in the morning that she made the announcement Sunday morning that she's heading out on tour. But I was like, sis, you forgot to release tour dates. So how you going to do a tour without revealing the tour dates? Well, guess what? This morning, I woke up and the tour dates was online. So now, fresh off of her album of the year win at the Grammys, Beyonce has finally revealed the dates for her much anticipated Cowboy Carter tour. And it's going to be a short one because she's only doing 22 shows with 4 nights in LA starting on April 28th. So literally, we're in February. So I would say a good 2.5 months before she hits the road. So they say after a 4-night stand, not a 4-night stand, child, at Los Angeles I'll just say LA because it says Los Angeles' SoFi Stadium. Beyoncé heads to Chicago and East Rutherford, New Jersey, then proceeds to London and Paris before a return to the US. Now, funny enough, I feel like these are the same tour dates that she's doing that she did during the not Cowboy Carter, during the Renaissance era. Like, she didn't really do no tour dates in New York, which doesn't make sense to me. I was like, girl, why aren't you doing like Yankee Stadium or even Citi Field, which I will be back again this year. I'll be working at Citi Field, so I know there's going to be a couple of concerts that's going to be there. I wonder if Lady Gaga is going to do Citi Field. She did there before, and it's easy to get to. So, but the problem with this situation, she's going to Jersey, and I'm like, no shade, but I do not feel like Cowboy Carter is an arena show. I know I get you want to do all your little pyro, whatever the case was, but I feel like Cowboy Carter is a more intimate album. I know a lot of people was thinking that she was going to release the third chapter in this Renaissance trilogy. You know, that we're going to get the rock record, and it would have made sense if this kind of all went together. But I guess she's got ideas, and to me, I'm not all that excited because I wasn't all that wowed with her performance that she did at the halftime. So I wasn't really that excited for that whole situation. So in my opinion, I don't feel like I'm all that enthused. I'll probably have to see clips online to see if she delivers. But this is in my mind, I just can't see how she's going to give this show what it is. I know Robert said earlier that this is going to be her version of the Drowned World Tour. If she could bring something that epic and that artistically creative to this tour, then I'll be like, okay. But I don't feel like those songs even warrant that much artistic creativity the way that Ray of Light did when Madonna performed those songs during the Drowned World Tour. But it was a hodgepodge. It wasn't just the music from that album. It was also music from I think music from the music album. Because Impressive Instant was on the music album, if I remember. Yeah, so it was like a combination of both. Because I think around the time she couldn't really tour because she was pregnant with Rocco. So once she gave birth to Rocco, then she was able to, and she had just had Lourdes not that long ago. So, you know, she was able to put both together and work that whole situation out. So the show kicks off on April 28th in LA. And yeah, so she's doing a whole bunch of dates there. 4 dates. We'll see if people in LA sells it all out, but it'll definitely boost the economy. And she's doing 4 nights from May 22nd to May 28th in East Rutherford, New Jersey at the MetLife Stadium, which I do believe she did the Renaissance tour there. But like I said before, I truly believe that the Cowboy Carter tour, because I'm sure what she's going to do is combine the Cowboy Carter stuff as well as past songs that she's done that have like that rock vibe, that country vibe, that more stripped down vibe, and she can incorporate that into the tour. So she can always and then rework some of her classics. But we'll see how she makes it all work when the tour happens. So that's probably what she's been busy doing now. And I do believe that this was the announcement that she was going to make before. You know, what was it, the 15th that she was supposed to make the announcement, and then a situation happened. So I guess she felt like, let me just do it around the time of the Grammys to make it easier, you know, for everybody. But I know a lot of people out here crying about their money, that they're gonna be broke again because now they got to go to the Beyonce tour, and now they're like, well, mother, tell us what we got to wear. I'm like, are y'all slow? Because have you not been paying attention? If this is a country record, do research on what people in the whole country music spectrum wear. Just like she told y'all to wear silver, but y'all had to be told to do that. But this country regalia. And one of my friends said, can you imagine you're gonna see some queens at the tour with assless chaps on? I'm like, and let them wear it. If you got a cute butt, wear them assless chaps with a jock strap on. Child, I'll be trying to get up in that. So I say all this to say that's all the news we got on now. It's not something that we need to spend 20 minutes on. But yes, so Beyonce has announced the tour dates. I don't know when y'all can start buying tickets. I don't know if that's been updated to the point where you could actually go online, but I'm sure y'all already know what to do. Y'all been going to Beyonce concerts long enough to know what the protocol is to go on there and buy tickets for her tour. So that's the latest on that. And I want to hear from you. What do you think about her going on tour for this album? Do you feel like it's a little premature for her to even be doing this and promoting an album that really didn't do all that well in the eyes of the public? But I guess because it's Beyonce and it was like this big conversation that a lot of us was having about, Cowboy Carter and the history of country, and people trying to debate whether it's country enough, is it not country enough, or is it not country, that sort of thing, and all that good stuff. I want to hear it from you. And do you think that, okay, so you shouldn't even put a tour together, especially in this economy, or the fact of the matter is, like, none of these songs feel like it's even entertaining enough for us to want to go pay for that, a tour to go see it, $500 and above to see you in a damn stadium. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so I see we have some comments. Onyx says, I do like how she kept the dates to a minimum. I'm not sure if she would have had a sold out tour if she performed country music in Europe. Yeah, because I don't think country music is that big over there. I really don't think that. So, like, look, colonizers, y'all got something that's yours because people overseas don't want it. Because I'm like, I don't think a lot of people like country music and stuff in other countries. Maybe they do listen to it. But for the most part, I just don't think people care outside of the United States. And I don't think I should have looked to see if she's going to do a couple of red states. Probably not. But let's just keep it at a minimum. She's only doing like 21 dates, which is cute enough. Maybe I should record it and put it out there for Netflix for those of you who don't get to go. Brown Bunny says, let's be real. Cowboy Carter was a chop. AOTY, she should do an MTV Unplugged, kept it acoustic and kept it moving. I would have definitely appreciated if she would just did like a Cowboy Carter special, had them network pay her a shit ton of money, back up a Brinks truck, let her perform a couple of songs on that record, put a little something together, and then kept it moving because nobody asked for this tour. But, the hardcore Beehive will be there in support. In my Jeopardy voice, Liza Minnelli, Barbara Streisand, Madonna, Cher, Beyonce, show tunes, Broadway tunes. Yeah, that's what I want. I want spectacle. You said, I guess Mayhem was supposed to be issued on Valentine's Day, but was delayed due to the fires. Yeah, I'm glad she delayed it till March. Yeah, I'm not surprised there's no Nashville because, you already know what Nashville gives. So, yeah, she's not doing that. I'm not into Beyonce. I couldn't imagine paying $500 for a concert ticket, but the village will be quiet when she performs in New York. I mean, she's not coming to New York. She's only doing, like, she'll be next door in Jersey. I'm like, okay. I'm surprised she's not doing New York. Like, that's why I said, if you're doing stadiums, you could have did Yankee Stadium, or you could have did Citi Field, or you could have probably did, what's the other one? Oh, I'm surprised she didn't even do the Barclays Center. But to me, I feel like she should have just did arenas. I'm surprised she didn't do the Barclays Center because that's what she should have did. Oh, because that's Jay's situation. Okay, so now let's get hold on. Because I was like, what am I doing? Let me take this out. Okay, so now let's get into this story about The View. So apparently this is according to Radar Online, and I knew based off the headline, I was like, this sounds like some Radar Online-ish. So apparently there's some drama going on behind the scene because I did not know that the people over there at The View were sharing their dressing room with other people like Tamron Hall and all that. I'm like, huh? Like, the industry is that far into the toilet. Y'all sharing stuff with everybody in the building. Y'all that much on a budget. So according to reports, they said the tensions are boiling behind the scenes at The View as co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar openly rebel against ABC's decision to force the daytime talk show to share its new studio with other network programs. Insiders describe the atmosphere as tense, with Goldberg and Behar reportedly treating the move as a personal insult to their legacy. So now a TV source told in the Big Apple said the following. They said ABC's decision to force the co-hosts to share their brand new sparkling studio and dressing rooms with other network shows has set the daytime queens grumbling. Now, while Tamron Hall has taken the changes in stride, even cracking jokes about leaving sticky notes for Whoopi, the fun didn't land. Instead, Whoopi and Joy are doubling down on their prima donna doings. They've made it clear that they're the bosses. The vibe is tense, with side eyes and snide remarks flying. It's like sharing a studio and dressing rooms is an insult. But then they didn't put a quote at the end of that sentence because this is according to the insider. Now, quote, they said the attendance been great. Tamron's been gracious and professional, but Whoopi and Joy act like they're too big to play nice. End quote. Another quote, the View might bring big ratings, but this kind of behavior is wearing thin. Now, sources told Radio Online that none of the show's co-hosts were thrilled to learn their workplace was moving to downtown Manhattan after 10 years at ABC's Upper West Side headquarters, despite the new space being state-of-the-art facility. Now, funnily enough, I have been to the old studio where they used to do it. They actually, their studios over, it's like literally across, and it's a big street, because it's like a street in the middle of the street. And then you got to cross like a couple of times. I know it's hard to explain, but they're literally across the street from Lincoln Center. And I go to the movie theater in that area as well, Lincoln Square. So like on the other side, they have the ABC studio where they literally will film ABC Eyewitness News. And then in the building, they had The View, they had Kelly and I don't know who she was with at the time, probably Michael Strahan. And now I think it's Kelly and Mark, but I guess they're still in that building unless they moved everybody from ABC out. And I heard like the new state of the art facility is located in Hudson Yard. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And that sort of looks pretty good, but I don't know. I haven't seen Tamara Hall in a month of Sundays. So I don't know what her new set looks like, but she probably is sharing the View studio. But I guess in this place, in this sense, they feel like that they are saving money by everybody sharing the studio. But I feel like this. Does this mean that, okay, if I have a dressing room that I can't make it my own because like I have a dressing room, I have my particular things that I want to put in there, like my photos and portraits and things that I need to make it feel homely, especially if I'm working at a studio. And then I got to pack everything up because who knows which celebrity or person you're going to have using my dressing room for them to get ready. And then they're moving things and then I got to come in and things are not where I left it. So I can't really make this place my own. I can't make it homely. So I don't know if I necessarily believe this story. Because I feel like sharing a studio, that's the name of the gig. Remember once upon a time, like back in the day, when they would shoot pilots for shows and how they would actually loan out the other, like someone else's studio for them to film a pilot for a show in there until they set up their studio. So we've had situations like this go down before, and it wasn't a big deal. But now it seems like it is a big deal. But then they also went on to say Whoopi Goldberg, who is 69, has said to be whining the loudest because of her restroom woes, saying the host's hottest topic was reportedly her tiny new dressing room, where she was unable to pee in private without an en-suite bathroom. Instead, Goldberg was being forced to use the common ladies' room down the hall. The insider added, prior to the move, she had the biggest dressing room of anybody, with the shower and toilet all to herself, and she gotten used to it. She doesn't want to share, and she's complaining to everybody that they're getting sick of it, and they're getting sick of it. Now, of course, people remember she had gassy problems, so they're not that enthused about having to share a bathroom with her either. Goldberg infamously appeared to fart during a segment in January of 2023 after spilling her water on the table and all over host Sarah Haynes' pants. Now, after the loud noise, co-host Haynes, Sonny, and giggling Elizabeth Griffin struggled to carry on the conversation. But look, I might be having a hard time carrying on this conversation because parts are funny. Meanwhile, Behar appeared to be grossed out by Whoopi's wind, probably because it stank. Could you imagine that Ozempic smell when you Putin? What that smell like? Now, as the outlet reported, a show insider previously said it's been an issue for a while. The ladies will be talking about a serious subject on air when poof, they hear a sudden noise and they're assailed by a foul smell. The viewer is under enormous pressure right now, as everyone knows the show is on the line. It's a key year, and wasting everyone's time is off limits, but here Whoopi is complaining loud and clear. So they're also saying that so much is at stake, and I guess maybe what it is because of because of the current administration that we're in, that people feel like that we're at stake at this point, that we can't have, all this drama and stuff going on, especially because I guess they're trying to figure out how far they can go into talking about all the things that Donald Trump is doing to our government. And when you are a part of legacy media, You can't really go there the way you want to go. So with them feeling the ways about things, they're trying to they're trying to zhuzh up the show a little bit. And I think also that's why they're probably doing weekend shows now, where they're trying to do more entertainment-based stuff. I'm like, how about y'all incorporate that into the hot topics instead of doing Donald Trump is evil and Donald Trump's an idiot, which we already know, and then we do Reddit stuff about relationships, and then you get Sunny, who her possessive behind, whenever we talk about like she owned her damn husband, Manny, he can't do shit around her. And then that's what we all talking about the whole show. Well, her being Petty LaBelle and how she carries herself. So I don't know if I necessarily believe this story because it's rated online. A lot of times you got to take what they say with a grain of salt. But I'm thoroughly entertained by the shenanigans. Hopefully it's not true. But this is the way it is, I guess, in New York. We got a lot of these small studios, and you can only do so much when you're in them. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards of this latest report regarding about Whoopi Goldberg and Joy not having it when it comes to other people coming in and using their facilities when they're filming? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, so I hear the squeaking. I hope my neighbors ain't fucking. Okay, let's see what the peoples are saying. Isn't she out there advocating for the migrants? Oh, Beyonce? No. People are afraid Katy Perry tour is going to get canceled. I'm like, she's smart, greatest hits tour, but I guess cost of ticket prices. Did it go up? They'll drop again. I had no idea the general public sale was more expensive than the pre-sale I participated in. It's $750 to $800. They're screaming foul, saying 143 flop. Lower the prices, or it's a J-Lo chop. Okay. Because anyway, hell, I'm paying $800 for a Katy Perry show. Question of the day, is Anna going to quit the Young Turks? Or who knows? I so don't care about that broad. I don't even watch the Young Turks. So I honestly don't even care what they do over there. The whole TYT situation could implode on its own head for all I care. Them and Bill Maher, they all need to get off TV. Ozembe about to be expensive due to tariffs about Denmark. Everything's about to be expensive. I heard he postponed tariffs on Mexico for about a month. And he told us what he was going to do, but y'all voted for him anyway. All right, so now we got 4 topics left in today's show. So before we get to said topics, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. It helps with the algorithm and all that good stuff. And yeah, and I'll also be putting timestamps in the show so that way you know where to go when we get to each topic that you want to get to. We want to skip through all the banter that we do throughout the live stream. Okay, so now without further ado, let's talk about Wendy Williams. How you doing? So you have an update on Wendy, in regards of this drama regarding her father. So, her fear was that she was worried about not being able to see her dad for his birthday. And now the judge has granted that she can fly to Miami for his 94th birthday. But there's a catch, because apparently she can no longer spill tea to the industry about what's going on with her. Well, as in the media. Now, the former talk show host, who's 60, is currently under a court-ordered guardianship, confined to a New York assisted living facility that she describes as a prison. But the brazen small-screen star will be able to fly to Miami for 48 hours to attend her father Thomas's 94th birthday. Now, on Friday, sources told TMZ that a judge authorized private security to accompany Williams from the Big Apple to celebrate with her dad and family. So now the thing is this also, we said damn, she can't do nothing because these people got to be surrounding her where they got to watch her every move. Meanwhile, the judge is also prohibiting Williams from having further contact with the media per the outlet. The decision comes just weeks after Williams and her niece, Alex Finney, called into the Breakfast Club to shut down claims that she is cognitively impaired. So, and then we saw from the videos or from listening to her, in a lot of these interviews, she sounded far from capacitated. Now, do I think there's been some damage from her years of alcohol abuse and all that other stuff? I do. But I don't feel like whatever this thing that they're calling cognitively impaired, I don't think that's what's her issue. She also claimed that she had $15 in her possession and that her beloved cat has been taken from her. And during the interview, Williams became emotional, talking about her father's upcoming 94th birthday, admitting she wasn't sure if she would be allowed to fly to Miami to celebrate with him. The radio alum made it clear she wanted freedom from the controversial guardianship. Now, Williams, who was diagnosed with aphasia and frontotemporal dementia in May of 2023, compared her current living situation to that of a prison. Now, a few days prior, Williams' loved ones had launched a GoFundMe to raise $50,000 to help free her from her guardianship, saying for far too long, Wendy has faced the challenges of being unjustly placed under guardianship and labeled as incapacitated, despite her strong will and determination to live her life independently. Her current situation is not only unfair, but also deeply isolating. The guardian assigned to her has severed her connection with friends and family, leaving her without support, the support network that she desperately needs. This isolation in New York has made it increasingly difficult for her to maintain her strength and resilience. Now, the latest on that, I don't even think we talked about the fact. Oh, did we talk about it? I don't remember. I talk about so much in the show, I forget. But I think we did talk about how she fired her court-appointed attorney, Linda Berlinsky. I think we did talk about that. But also, and she said that she was let go after the lawyer allegedly failed to file paperwork for her trial about whether Williams' guardianship was necessary when the author asked her to do so. So if I'm asking you to do something, freaking do it. But I do have a clip. I don't know if y'all seen it of Harvey Levin talking to Wendy in an interview, and she's on like one of those phones or whatever in her room, and she's like literally got her hand pressed up against the window, and she's like in tears, crying about the situation. So we're gonna go to that, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
Wendy, your dad is turning 94 in February, and he's up there in age, and I know you want to go to Miami to see him and celebrate his birthday because you don't know how many more there are going to be.
Right, exactly.
That must be important for you.
It's extremely important. It's extremely important to see my dad for his birthday, and that is a family thing. It's not just a me thing, I would wish that along with celebrating my dad's 94th birthday, that we as a family, we come together in peace and harmony. That's what I wish for my dad.
Oh yeah. That's basically where we are with this situation, unfortunately. And I was like, hold on, because now I'm sitting there hearing Kanye and his trash ass wife. So yeah. So you know what? In so many ways, I'm happy that Wendy will finally get to spend her father's birthday with him. But one of the questions that I do have is that what does this mean for her guardianship? And will we be able to get media updates on what's going on with her? Because if she can't speak to the press in regards to what's happening with her, and if there's anything that's happening to get her up out of this conservatorship, then how do we know what's going on with her? How can we help her? If the only way that she gets to see her dad is if she basically has to forego speaking to the media and her having friends in media because that was her wheelhouse. She is a media personality. What happens to her? So it's unfortunate that this is where we are in regards of, this is like the flip side of the alternative, I guess is the word, of how she gets to go spend time with her father. We'll let you go spend time with him, but you can no longer speak to the press. So hopefully there will be ways that other people can come and Wendy could chirp in her niece's ear, somebody, and then they can go and give updates to Charlemagne and Harvey and a bunch of other people. So I'm glad that, she gets to spend time with her dad, but I just really hope that, she's able to get out of this conservatorship because I don't like all this. And I saw that some people were sitting up here blaming that, you know what? This is Lil Cap's fault because his mother was going through some things, while his father was out here laying low and spreading it wide with Sharina and cheating, that, what had happened was when he was busy doing all of that, and Wendy was in the room self-medicating, drinking herself into a stupor, that what happened with that was Kevin was out here being reckless with her money, spending over $100,000 on Uber Eats. Who spends that much money on ordering food? Like, motherfucker, you better get your ass in the kitchen and learn how to cook. Because you sitting here putting all that money, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on stuff. And I understand that was her only child. And Wendy was the type of woman that was like, you know what? This is my only kid. I will give him the world. He can have whatever he has. He can do whatever. But he was doing too much. And I guess what people are saying is that with him doing too much with her finances, raised a red flag with Wells Fargo. So that may have been the catalyst in all this, but I need further detail in regards to that whole situation. So if Kevin is the reason why she got in this mess, that's kind of screwed up. But I feel like there's more to the story than that. And I really hope that Wendy gets the help that she needs and she gets out of this damn prison. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to the latest regarding Wendy Williams, that she gets to go visit her dad out in Florida? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now Felix says the only person I pay $800 for is Madonna. If I had to, yeah, there's got to be certain topics that I have to look in on with that. Like, there's only certain people that I will pay that kind of money for, and yeah, I don't. Everybody don't get my $800. That's why I'm glad I work where I work. Off topic, but are you excited about Whitney Houston's Bodyguard's new book? It draws. Child, I didn't even know her bodyguard was coming out with a book. Where have I been? But I'll definitely look into it. OMG, this feels like a movie. Free Wendy. And it seems like it's getting worse by the minute. They need to smuggle a walkie-talkie up in there. Can you imagine? Okay, so now we got some good news and bad news and good news. The bad news is Heidi Klum is leaving America's Got Talent. But the good news is they're bringing back Mel B. So Scary Spice got a job. But so does Heidi Klum, because she's going over there to, we talked about it on the show, that she's about to go do Project Runway. So that's why she's leaving. And I think in regards to that, that's what people were wondering. If she's going to be a part of Project Runway, what does this mean for America's Got Talent? Is she going to be able to do both? Well, apparently she can't, because you already know Long Hours goes into Project Runway. Whereas, and same thing with America's Got Talent. They got to do like the people coming in with the auditions. They got to sit there and watch hours upon hours of performances. So it's time consuming. So according to Deadline, they said NBC is making a change to its judges table for the forthcoming 20th season of its summer juggernaut, America's Got Talent. Heidi Klum, who has been on the show for 11 of the past 12 seasons, is leaving. Her seat will be taken by Mel B, who served as a judge alongside Klum for seasons 8 through 13. Mel B is joining returning judges Simon Cowell, who was the talent competition series creator and executive producer. Howie Mandel and Sofía Vergara also back to host Terry Crews. Season 20 is set to premiere on May 27th. Now, the news of Klum's exit follows the announcement last month that she will be returning to Project Runway, a show she initially hosted on Bravo from 2004 to 2017. The reality competition is back for a new 10-episode season in 2025 to air on Disney's Freeform and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu, which I'm actually glad about, because I'm like, Freeform? I'm like, I don't even know what that is on my TV. But if it's going to be on Disney Plus and Hulu, I'm definitely going to check it out, because I am a huge Project Runway fan. So in a way, I'm actually glad it's not on Bravo anymore. The announcement of Klum's Project Runway return triggered immediate concern among AGT fans, who wondered whether she could juggle both reality shows scheduling-wise. She previously did both AGT and Project Runway for 5 seasons from 2013 and 2017. Klum also serves as host and executive producer of Germany's Next Top Model, which she has been doing alongside her U.S. TV duties since 2006. Wait, hold the phone. Y'all mean to tell me that Germany's Next Top Model is still going on, but y'all went and canceled Tyra over here in America? I'm not saying that Heidi was doing what Tyra was doing over, here over there, but I'm like, I didn't even know Germany's Next Top Model was still going on. Now, they said added to the confusion was the fact that a recent note on AGT's official ticketing site about canceled LA auditions due to the wildfires listed Klum among the season 20 judges. Now, no one is commenting but according to sources, the judge swap may have been a business decision as Klum commands one of the top salaries in reality TV. And I think that's what it is. I think they chopped her because it was like she was getting paid a hefty sum to be on TV. And they're like, you know what? Mel B is cheaper. And so we want to bring her in. And we don't want to have to continue to pay someone all this money if they're not going to give us 110% of themselves. And I'm perfectly fine with that because I'm like, well, you know what? I hope that one day, and I'm putting out here in the universe, and usually when I put things out in the universe, it comes true. I would love to be in a position of like a Heidi Klum or one of these personalities where y'all get to be on a TV show and you get to judge stuff and you make a shit ton of money. Who wouldn't want that cushy job? Rather than being out here messing up your knees and being in pain, I'd rather sit up here and either host or judge a competition show. It's so much fun to do that. When you're watching so many other amazing, talented people and you're trying to mentor them in some sort of way or giving constructive critiques, like I'm about to do when we get into this RuPaul's Drag Race story, because this last episode was a hot-ass mess. So, but nevertheless, that would be a cushy job I would love to have because you get to do so much and you get to make so much money doing it. Rather than out here killing yourself, you need yourself a personal masseuse. So there you have it. That's the latest. Heidi Klum apparently is not going to be a part of America's Got Talent. They brought in, allegedly, Mel B, allegedly, they brought her in because, you know, it's cheaper to get her. But then they said Klum joined AGT in season 8. She and Mel B left after season 13 as the show shook up its judges panel with Julianne Hough and Gabrielle Union, Jordan Mandel and Cowell. But Hough and Union were gone after one season in an exit surrounded by controversy. And that was when Gabrielle went and sued NBC, and I believe she won. Klum was back in season 14, joined by new judge Vergara. Now, auditions for the 20th season are currently underway. Mandel will host an audition comedy showcase on February 6th at the Ice House in Pasadena. AGT finalist Sophie Dawsey will host virtual auditions on Tuesday, February 25th, and in-person open call auditions will be held on Monday, March 10th at the Pasadena Civic Center. So there's a lot going on with that, and if you're interested in audition, I'm sure you already know how to do it. Go on the AGT website and do your thing. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to this latest news? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about some Drag Race news. And yeah, so apparently RDR Live is back. I don't know why. I can't stand RDR Live. I don't know why they keep trying to make fetch happen. But here we are. They continue to do it. And I was not really moved by a lot of the performances. Well, there was a couple that stood out for me. I thought Anya Nerve did a fabulous job as a host and during her scene with the cave, you know, was it Homo sapien situation? I do love that performance. And also, let's talk about Anya Nerve's look over on the bottom right. I love the look. I thought it was epic and everything. I do agree that there should have been like, they said a mohawk, whatever. No, it needed a ponytail. But I couldn't decide. Should it have been a blonde ponytail or should it have been pink? Did everything have to be extremely pink? Because I don't think Lana Jarrett had a pink wig on. I think she had a blonde wig. And look, Jules Sparkles didn't have on a blonde wig. She had a dark wig on. So I feel like Anya Nerve, it would have been cuter if she would have went with a pink, not pink wig, a pink ponytail. Pink ponytail. She should have went with a blonde ponytail. I think that would have been cute. Because the headpiece that she had on did make her head look really small with such a grand outfit. But other than that, the outfit was over for me. So yeah, for those of you who don't know what this situation is, RDR Live, it basically is a Drag Race take on SNL. And they had actor Paul W. Downs as the guest judge. So, last week, it opens up with the queen who had a sashay away. It was Miss Joella. Joe, don't forget the Ella. And, this was her standing at the bottom for the second week. She went up against, who was it I forgot that she lip-synced against. Anya Nerve won. I was here for it. Apparently people was mad that Anya won, but I'm like, why wouldn't she win? She ate in the challenge. But of course you had your haters. Oh, it was Corey King. That's why I totally forgot who Corey is giving the bare minimum. All she's giving is shade and delusion between her, Ariette, and Lana Jarre. I don't know who was the most delusional on this damn show, but y'all definitely have surpassed Joella in regards to the delusions of Granda. And I'm here for the shade. I'm here for the entertainment of it all. But girl, if y'all and here's the thing that I noticed a lot of people saying on social media, but me, when I watch Drag Race, yes, I'm one of those that yell at the TV, like y'all can hear me. But that's how I get out my situation, my energy and my frustration when I'm into the show. It's either that or I'm gonna have to get on Twitter and act like these damn trolls. So I'd rather just scream at my TV like I'm really in the room with these girls having an argument. In my head, that's what we doing. But sitting there watching this sort of thing, it's like, I'm tired of these queens. Well, you didn't beat me in my look. And then I'm like, this show was called RuPaul's Drag Race, not Look Queen. If it was about outfits, yeah, y'all would eat down. But here's the thing. Y'all spend that damn near, taking out mortgage payments and all this other stuff just so y'all can look fabulous on a damn TV show. But you're not delivering in the other stuff. Where's the uniqueness? Where is the talent? Where is the charisma? All I'm getting is bitchiness and cute looks. But you're not serving in the talent department. And I totally agree with their opinion about Ariette. Ariette was sitting there with the bitchiest look on her face, but I realize that's how her face been looking all season so far. And so she's sitting up there mad because when she came out of the gate with Lana Jarre and the other queen, yeah, you that member, I forgot who the fuck you was. But she came out, was on a 10 the whole time. When you're acting, it's supposed to be peaks and valleys. When you're supposed to be like sort of like a cave woman Karen type because you're complaining about somebody different. Like not even a Homo sapien, it's like an evolved, well, yeah, a Homo sapien, which is a human, but they were trying to be funny and make it about homosexual, da da da. It's always stupid puns what they do with Drag Race. And Lana Del Rey came up in there jiggling her titties, thinking that was going to be a top performance. I'm like, girl, really? You was up in there doing Peggy Bundy, a 20-pound soaking wet version of Peggy Bundy, and full on RuPaul regalia as a cave woman. Like you literally could have been in the Flintstones movie. And you thought that was a top performance? Now, one of the things I don't agree with what they did, I do feel like Sadness should have been in the top because I definitely liked her performance. But the bottom two was everything because it was like, yeah, you was giving too much. And Lydia Butthole Collins, the minute she said, oh, yeah, I can give a look of being an old woman, I was like, Molly, you in danger, girl. Because it's like, how many times have we gone on this show where y'all thinking a look is enough to really give it during a performance? It's not about the look. You have to embody what you think, or an older woman and what she entails with that. And in case you forgot, definitely ate in that performance. I was definitely living for her giving like the whole sex kitten situation and ripping her top open and all that other stuff. So, and then this whole term about Piggy eating it up and all this other stuff, like, child, Jules, I know you're trying to have your little moment and you're trying to come with a term that we could all get behind, but it wasn't working. It was like, no, it was cute, but Piggy is not going to catch on. It's not like any one of those other terms that the queens have come up with on the show where they say like death drop, which, grinds my freaking gears because it's called a dip, but y'all have come up with your own words, shablam and all the other stuff. But Piggy is not going to work. Sorry. Because every time I hear Piggy, I think of Nine Inch Nails. Hey, pig. Hey, piggy, piggy, pig, pig. That's what I'll be thinking about when I hear that. And I thought that the weekend update situation when you had Lexi, Crystal, and Susie definitely ate. Although Susie was getting on my nerves, acting like a no. Oh yeah, but no, this wouldn't work. And then it was like, I know, it was kind of annoying me. And I love you, Lexi, but girl, you was giving little mean girl tease during Untucked, and I wasn't really feeling that. But I was entertained though. But you was irritating my spirit during that whole situation. But I know that Hormona was up there cackling because the role that she wanted, and she ended up being nice and giving it to Lydia, and Lydia bombed, and now Lydia was in the bottom. And you saw that look on Crystal's face like, bitch, I told you. I mean, not Crystal, Hormona was like, I told you, I would have ate that role if y'all would have gave it to me. And that's why I agreed, even though that was a read, but it was a fact. It's not a read if it's a fact, though. When it was stated that Pomona should have played that role. She already looks old. And that's not a read. It's like, bitch, you do look old. I don't even know how old Pomona is in real life. But she do give old lady tea. Like, she older than Lexi when I'm looking at her. So, yeah, it was Anya, Corey, and Arietti. Corey was all right. Arietti was even just, like, doing too much. I loved Anya's performance. But I did cackle when she said that she was channeling it. And I could definitely see it. She said Jennifer Lawrence, which she meant Jennifer. And I'm sitting there like, girl, don't you mean Jennifer Lewis? Before RuPaul even got to it. Because it's like, yeah, the only ones that I know that could do a real good Jennifer Lewis, besides Anya and channeling that, is Shangela. Now, I can't say her name too many times because she might appear like Beetlejuice. So then, then they had the musical performance with Ru. I was like, okay, girl, here you go with that stiff dancing. But okay, it's cute or whatever. I know you got to promote your music. But I did like Susie's role as RuPaul's babysitter. And I did like the whole Beaver segment, which was kind of funny. And I did like the fact that, I'm trying to remember, where Jewel Sparkles, what's her name? Forget everybody's damn name all of a sudden. Where she basically did what was an Australian accent, and it's like the way she says baby. I was like, I was definitely living for that, but that was cute, but that wasn't enough to get you in the top, girl. So, when they had the elimination situation, the queen was feeling confident about the performances. I'm like, I don't know what y'all looking at. It kind of made me wonder. Because remember last season when they were showing all the mistakes, especially like in when the opening act was done and Miss Girl was messing up, coming out as the host. I didn't notice any of that in RDR Live. I noticed everything was perfect. So it kind of makes me wonder, y'all must have did more than one take. So that way everybody came out giving perfection because the math wasn't mathing. Something in the milk wasn't clean. So I think that y'all kind of just judged it up so there'd be a little perfection in this whole situation. Because how was everybody coming out like on point with reading the teleprompter and embodying certain characters? I don't know if it was just me that felt that way. So then I did like the fact also that Susie tried something different with her makeup, and Michelle did take notice, but I just didn't like the fact that during Untucked, a lot of people was talking about that they were trying to question Susie's drag and her overall look. And it's like, at least Susie stands out. This reminds me of so many seasons that we've seen of people in the past where y'all went in on, I think y'all have a real problem with alternative queens on this damn show. Because you did it to Jinx, you did it to Evie, and now you're doing it with Susie. But they've done that a lot of times over the years, and I'm sick and tired of a lot of these pretty queens that always try to throw shade at the alternative queens. Because I don't see Arietti making it all the way to the top 4. So now on the runway, Ru introduced the week panel of judges, which of course was Michelle Ross, Michelle Visage, Ross Matthews, and then we had Paul W. Downs, who is from Broad City and Hacks, 2 shows I've never watched, so I didn't know where he was from. Then a category on the runway was Tickled Pink. So, of course, it shows all the queens who had to wear pink outfits. And as you can see here, you know what? A lot of the outfits was cute. I lived for it. I didn't particularly care for Lana. Lana Del Rey's outfit was okay. It was giving very much like 1940s, like something out of an Alfred Hitchcock movie, very that. I did like the penis outfit. That was cute. Corey gave typical pedestrian drag queen, like she had on this pink little outfit and a blonde wig. It just looked like a man in a dress. Crystal was cute. Lexi was cute. Acacia was all right. I didn't particularly care for Acacia's outfit. Now I will say this. In regards to I actually like Ramona's look too. But in regards to, and then they also said that, look, Ross told her when they was talking about the critiques, he basically told Anya that her padding is exceptional. Michelle told her that she needs hair, which I do agree with. And like I said before, it should have been like a ponytail. But I don't know if it should have been a blonde or a pink one. But I feel like it was enough pink there. She could have went with a blonde, just like all the other girls wasn't going particularly with one particular color. Then you could switch it up with the wigs too. And then of course, I actually like Ramona's look. Although one of my friends was saying that she gives the same silhouette every week. Well, if she lasts long, that's one thing Michelle gonna point out. I do agree with Michelle when she said, "I don't understand why Sam chose the voice that she chose during the Beaver segment." Yeah, I don't know why she tried to do this deep voice thing. It's because were you trying to stereotype lesbians? Like, I didn't get that, and I feel like she should have just why not go with your Southern accent? Like that would have been cute, and that could have worked in your favor. You wanted all of a sudden you want to switch it up and be different. It's like, no, ma'am, that's not working. And I wish the other queens would have told her that, but whatever. So yeah, she should have stuck to the regular, her Southern accent. And I did love Susie's pink clown look. I thought it was fun. And she was poking fun at herself. But of course, the queens didn't get it because everything has to be about, I want to gag the judges. I need something fierce. We could gag the judges. No, okay, I'm gagged for a moment. But what else are you offering these? That's basically what I want. And yeah, so Lydia, I definitely lived for the penis outfit. And the outfit she came up with afterwards. I don't know about that wig, but when she lip synced against Ariete, the wig was moving. So that's why I was like, okay, the wig is working for this, but it wasn't working when I saw it when you came out of the little penis outfit. And they gagged over that because it's something different and unique. And Ariete, let me tell you, definitely I live for her outfit, but girl, you gotta give me something else than just being pretty and fierce outfits. I need more from you, just like I need from Lana Jarre. And so then you had Susie 2 wound up winning, which she said she was going to win that challenge. I was like, you better watch it because, a lot of times these girls be talking too much about a challenge they're going to excel at and then they end up failing. But no, Susie definitely delivered. And so then, Mona Lisa and Anya Nerve followed her in second and third place, which they've been delivering. And I see like the girls, like Ariete and all the other ones are butthurt. Lana Jarre sitting up there with an attitude turning her back. Like, that's the ultimate disrespect. I said, oh, bitch, don't you do that to me, because you would have got red. I know you in your feelings, but bitch, that's some ultimate disrespect. You're going to turn your back to somebody because you in your feelings about not winning over a fucking outfit. Like, get out of here. Are you kidding me? And I know they dragged her online. And I was living for the fact that they was not only dragging her, but they were dragging Ariete in the comments too. But it wasn't like nasty drag. And that's why I was like, based on what I saw, it was a nasty drag. And I'm glad that they didn't go nasty with it because I feel like, people in their feelings. But I did like the fact that in the end, Ariete did come to the conclusion. She was like, you know what? I can only be mad at myself. So she had to get all that frustration out. But I don't understand why she went and picked on Hamona because Hamona didn't do nothing. Like, I didn't think first of all, Hamona's performance was good compared to what they had up there in RDR Live. And I liked her runway outfit. It was signature drag queen in a long mermaid silhouette gown. But it was just like, she gave me my life with the performance or the look. So, yeah. So Lydia and Ariete being in the bottom, I was not surprised. Corey, girl, you cannot be up in here trying to read and make a little snide comments and laughing at the expense of other. Like, she's trying to be the plain Jane of the season. You just come across as worse. And I know y'all are family, her and Plain. But in regards to like the overall look and how you present your drag, girl, your drag is very pedestrian. And the wigs be looking like they need some water up in them or something. Like, don't feed it after midnight because something's going to happen. So Corey is giving linebacker an address, but out here trying to read the girls down on their overall looks. She's not giving. I don't particularly care for her. So in regards to wrapping this up, Lydia Butthole Collins and Ariete performed Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Emotions, Boogie Wonderland, which I do love that song. However, Lydia ate up that performance, and watching the performance, I said, Lydia got it. And this is how I tell you why. This is how you producers give away your winners before RuPaul even says, Shantae, you stay or sashay away. When the camera spends way too much time on one particular queen, this is how you always know they're winning the champion. They're winning the competition. So they spent way too much time on Lydia. You barely saw Ariete in the lip sync. And Arietti's dancing. I'm like, child, I've seen toddlers dance better than that. That cannot be what you give in a drag show. Flailing arms, moving around all frantic. It just felt desperate in her performance. And Lydia's performance seemed very much controlled, and she was giving during that lip sync. So, in the end, the girls gagged because Arietti did not win the lip sync. Lydia Butthole Collins ended up winning. And you sort of look on all their faces, especially Lana and Jules. They gagged. Arietti's face still looked the same, like she smelled something foul. Then she pulled the lever, and Michelle Visage went in the water. So it saved her from elimination. So nobody went home. And I think that was the whole plan. It was the producers, sprucing up some stuff for dramatic effect. Clearly, that's what it was. It felt so obvious the way they were doing that. But here's the thing, and thank God, I understand this is a bit early for them to be doing this, but the Badunkadunk challenge is done. So after this, they're not saving nobody. Everybody else now is straight up eliminations. So I guess the Badunkadunk challenge, whatever, maybe it's because it's a drought in LA. They can't be out here wasting all that water. So now they got to stop with the water situation. And now everybody's going to get ill from here on out. You got to step your pussies up. So next week, it's going to be interesting because it's now a ball where the queens have to create sickening looks with ocean garbage. And there's some drama from what we saw in the trailer. There was some drama surrounding Lexi's design. And here's the other part that I'm actually living for. Laura Roach is the judge next week. So I'm living for that. So I'm hoping that they bring Laura back every season whenever it's a fashion challenge. Now, this one, I feel like if Lucky Stars had lasted, this would have been a challenge she would have excessed in. And I would have loved to have seen her excess in that challenge. But it's cute or whatever. Lydia Butthole Collins was saved or whatever from elimination. Child, I already know which one of the girls from season 17 is about to be on All Stars 10. I don't know if y'all want to know, so I'm going to hold on to that. So, yeah, so that's basically the recap or recap of RDR Live. So I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this past week's episode in regards to like all the drama going on? And I will say this, for the first time in a long time, it's been a minute since I've been excited to watch Untucked. Untucked has been thoroughly entertaining this season. So I'm living for the shade and the shenanigans between the queens on this season because everybody else was all busy about producing themselves and nobody wanted to give their opinion about stuff. And now the girls be fighting. And I'm entertained by it all. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Onyx says, I had Corey's Sharpay Evans look. Okay. Oh, you said hated. Oh, I did too. First of all, that whole look was a mess. That wig was a chop. That dress was a chop. I'm like, who is dressing you? I'm like, are you getting dressed in the dark? Like, her whole drag is just horrid. But got the nerve to sit up here and cackle about other people's shit. I'm like, girl, your shit is, you look like you be on a budget every time you put an outfit on. Like, it's giving very much local queen tease. And yeah, so and if certain queens that work at Roscoe's got a problem with me talking about pedestrian drag queens or local queens, she could suck the shit out of my ass. Fuck nation. But anyway, so they said this runway was so lackluster. I was expecting big pink extravaganzas like what Ariette, Lydia, and Susie did. Yeah, they definitely brought it. And Ariette definitely brings it in regards to the runways, but you got to do more than just serving looks. Ariette is a mean girl, but it isn't so obvious because she has an alternative drag style and not a pageant style like what most mean drag queens have. Yeah, so it's like in a way she's a hybrid. So it's kind of like she's got the pageant style and she's got a little bit of that alternative drag. Agreed. She definitely is one of those queens that I feel like focuses more on how she looks rather than, or the other aspect. Like the whole show, Drag Race is about a plethora of things. You can't just come on there and serving a look and thinking that's enough. If that's the case, then maybe they need to create a show about drag queen next top model or something. Like if that's what you want to do, then they need to create a show for that. But that's not what Drag Race is. I like Lana, but she was so delulu about her 1 minute on screen. And her dress that doesn't even hit the floor. Okay. Oh, damn. Why she look older than? You said she's 1 year younger than Lexi. But no, she look old, yeah. Even in them scenes where they be showing her without makeup. Yeah, she definitely deserved to win it. I was living for that. You don't know. I can't. I hate RDR Live. First of all, them skits are so stupid. It's not funny. Now don't get me wrong. We had a show with homosexuals doing sketch. It was called the Big Gay Sketch Show. Johnny McGovern was on it and Coleman Domingo. Y'all remember that way back in the day on Logo? They had the Big Gay Sketch Show. Coleman Domingo was on it. That's where he got his start. That's where I knew him from. But I don't know what they need to do. But they need to come up with something else. I don't like RDR Live because I just be feeling like I don't know, it's just not funny. Maybe they need better writers. Maybe that's what they need. I don't know. But yeah, they definitely need to they need to do something funny. The bitch look actually was funny. I do like that. And I like Drag Race of Love too. Maybe maybe they need to change it up and not do gay, like they could do gay Hollywood square, like drag Hollywood squares or something like that, because they brought Hollywood squares back. The new center square is Drew Barrymore. Remember back in the day when it was Whoopi Goldberg? This one now it's Drew Barrymore, but they need to come up with something fun. They're doing what they did with Jinx, and that's when I feel like I'm getting back to it. It's just taking me back to the time when I interviewed the queens from that season, and I was like, and I tell you, this is the one thing I regret when I interviewed Roxy Andrews, and I was just so like nasty to her based off of and dismissive, based off of her how she treated Jinx. I allowed the show to reflect me being up in there being, you know, a professional. So I do regret that, and I don't want to go back to that. It's obvious they don't like alternative queens unless it fits their quota, like what Willow and Nymphia do. Let's not forget how they treated Lucky, Charity Case, and even Evie on All Winners. Mm-hmm. Like Roxy was in season 5, Ariete is too serious. Mm-hmm. And trying to sit up here and trying to dictate. I'm like, and you know what? At the end of the day, it's not about you, and y'all are not the judges. That's why I was like, yesterday I was watching All Stars, the season with Shea Coulee and Miss Cracker and India Farah. And Miss Cracker was letting, oh my God, what is her name? Alexis Mateo get in her head. And then you had one of the comedians saying, who gives a fuck with all these other queens and stuff on here saying, don't let other people's opinions get in your head. And you saw Alexis face go, I was like, yeah, bitch, she talking about you. It's like, yeah, it's not about you trying to, what your opinion is on the show. You're not the judge. So I don't need to listen to you. Oh, Ariana gets the boot if she makes it to the top 4. I don't see her making it to the top 4. Quiet as it's kept. I feel like when Snatch Game comes up, she might be in the bottom again if she don't get eliminated before that. That is too funny. Felix said the same thing. She won't. I think the furthest she'll get is Snatch Game. Okay. Corey's drag is still at not the baby stage. She has no definable aesthetic, style, or brand. It's just a dude cross-dressing. But didn't I just say that she looked like a linebacker in a damn dress? And you over here say she basically is like, yeah, it's like it literally is like you're not even doing drag, sis. You're basically cross-dressing at this point. Like the wig is looking a little too synthetic. I've seen better wigs on Diddy's mother than I have on Corey King. I said Laura is the rotating judge next to Rue, and Hunter Schafer is a celebrity guest judge. So that's very interesting. I really do hope this means he's a rotating judge from now on. Absolutely, because I want him on there as much as T.S. Madison, because I love T.S. Madison. I do think Laura needs to be on there. And I think like the producers are probably listening and like, we like him for this show. And I feel like you need somebody up there that really understands fashion. I know they always say like, oh, Carson Kresser would be a good idea, but we had this non-binary photographer that was there at the RuPaul's Drag Race event. And every time Carson Kresser got on the stage, got to the carpet to do his shoot, like the posing and stuff of the photographers, I kid you not, I cannot remember the non-binary child name because it was a, queen, beard, long hair, in a mini dress, body was bodying, and heels, came up and kept fixing his lapel. And I'm sitting there like in the handkerchief and all this stuff, and I'm like, kept fixing his because he was like, I just need to fix, and he was letting him do it. And so I was living, I was like, okay. So it's like even the fashion girls, we need a little adjustment and some help sometimes. I was told on Twitter, Damien Leone did agree with his stars politically. The only ones conservative are the ones funding the films. If they get stupid and be like, "Oh, we're not going to make this one," I can say, "Well, I guess your ass don't want money then," because these movies make a shit ton of money, which is why Damien Leone is in a position where he could call the shots and stuff. Or some of these queens, some of them, are they the worst? I feel like I've seen worse. I don't think they're some of the worst. I think they're just delusional in the way that they come across in certain things, thinking that they should be in the top for certain situations when it's not. And I'm glad that even when I was like screaming at my TV, like I'm sitting there a part of the show, and I went on Twitter to read the comments, and literally everybody was in lockstep with what I was saying, where they were saying like, this show has never been about just the looks. The looks aren't the only things that play a factor in the Drag Race judging and critiques of the queens. It's not about looks. If that was the case, then, and then she goes, like, you didn't beat my, Lana, to my, well, you didn't beat my outfit. Girl, we've seen women in the 1950s and 60s. If you look at old pictures, when I used to watch like Alfred Hitchcock and a lot of those films back in the day, women dress like how you dress. You ain't invent the wheel. So Lana thinking like she ate. Now your drag mother Lux is another story. She was delivering on the runways. Lana has yet to give me like a wow factor. And it's funny, it's like y'all spend so much time and money and effort in trying to impress these queens and the judges. And the judges, I feel like, are at a stage of they're jaded. Been there, done that, water t-shirt, we've seen it all. Like, I'm not impressed. I hope they have another design challenge heavy season, like season 3, or maybe have 2 improv challenges. I do feel like, you know what, maybe that should be the thing. Instead of them doing RDR Live, there needs to be more fashion challenges because, to be honest, that's what I love about Drag Race. I wanted to kind of have that vibe of Project Runway and America's Next Top Model with drag queens. And I do feel like we need more design challenges. And the queens need to know, like, you know what? First of all, Farragut's have always been crafty. We've always been crafty in more ways than one. So to have to bring that aesthetic and be creative in some sort of way, why not? I do feel like we need to bring that back. And then really put a fire under a lot of these people's behinds, because y'all be up in here talking about, I never took a sewing challenge. And it's literally 17 seasons this show has been on. 16 years Drag Race has been on the air. And you still don't know you need to learn how to sew? So I do agree, we definitely need more design challenges on the show. And maybe some improv challenges, maybe some more comedy challenges. Also, Miss Cracker got on China for not believing in herself. Yeah. And then that's when Alexis was saying the stuff that she was saying and coming at her. And then when she made that mistake of talking about, oh, I respect Shay and I respect this one and I respect that one, of course, Alexis comes, oh, so you don't respect me? And of course, that's when you had Shay had to jump in. I want to see more celebrity impersonations on Drag Race, like what Chad Michaels queens that don't have to worry about snatch. Yeah, we definitely need more of that. Like when Bianca Del Rio did Judge Judy, and you had Jinx do Little Edie, and that sort of thing. I do agree with that. No impersonations of freaking influencers. A lot of them don't even have a damn personality. So no, I don't want to see that in my Drag Race. I need actual performances, like real impersonations. Because yeah, Drag Race not Drag Race. Snatch Game been a little dry. Or like when Shea Coulee did Flavor Flav. I live for that. I think the early outs on season 15 were the worst. Yeah. Princess Poppy quick drag. Amethyst is not doing something. Irene Dubois is tired. And here's the thing. Irene has one of her children, Acacia forgot, on this season. So yes, I do agree. Season 15 was meh. Funnily enough, that's the next season I got to rewatch because I already finished season 14. Now I'm on All Stars. So yeah, that's the next season. So I need a little refresher of my brain. But you up, child. First of all, we already knew. The minute Sasha Colby walked in that door, it was a wrap. Everybody knew, just give her the damn crown and scepter. She won. So, wait, wasn't Amethyst on season 16 with, or was she not? I get it confused. She wasn't on the season with Saphira, right? You said season 14 had the worst Snatch Game. Oh, child, don't even get me started. They damn sure did. Everybody was bad. The only one who wasn't bad was Deja. Deja Scott. She was the only one that was passable. The rest of them was just atrocious. Even Willow Pill was bad. He said it's hard to keep up with somebody. Huh? Who you telling? I totally agree with that. I do feel like it's been oversaturated. I just saw a recent TikTok video where Bianca Del Rio was talking about that, like how it's just too many of them. So I'm like, oh, there goes her chances of ever hosting. But I don't think she feels any ways about it. First of all, Bianca's making her money out here doing her comedy stuff, doing her stand-up all over the world. But I do agree that it's so hard to keep up with them, and I get overwhelmed. It's like, well, damn, I want to go in and watch, but it's just a lot. Like, I haven't even finished Canada's Drag Race yet, even though I already know who won. But I haven't even finished that. It just becomes so overwhelming. Oh, you said Amethyst was the big. Okay, so she was in season 15. Willow did Drew Barrymore, but knew nothing. Yeah, that's another thing. You cannot do queens that you don't know about. You can't do people that if you don't know what they do. Or a lot of times when they do a Snatch Game and they only do one thing and just stick to that. I'm like, there's so many other things. Like when Evie Ollie did Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, there's so many other things you could have did with Whoopi Goldberg, but she only did one thing and it was just bad. And I think she ended up in the bottom. Yeah, Canada's Drag Race Snatch Game was atrocious. And then they said, wasn't it the one where the older indigenous queen went home for that episode? Oh no, that was a girl group challenge. I'm trying to remember who went home for. Oh, see, here's the thing. I don't remember who went home for Snatch Game because I put the episode on, and then 10 minutes in, the episode was watching me, so I fell asleep on it, and I haven't revisited it ever since. I have no idea what happened to Snatch Game, but now you're gonna pique my interest and have me going and rewatch it, or am I a glutton for punishment? And I shouldn't just do that to myself. I watched one video where they said Brooklyn shouldn't host. Quiet as it's kept, Brooklyn shouldn't host the show, period. It's quiet, even more quieter than it's kept. I don't think either one of these people on there. I don't particularly care for Brad Goreski, and I don't care about Tracy Melchior either. The three of them combined don't even be given what needs to be given in regards to the hosting duties, but it is what it is. Like when the girl did Raven Simone just kept doing the That's So Raven Vision look. Yeah, you can't keep doing the same shtick all the time. It gets a little old. Okay, but anyway, so now speaking of old, no, I don't want to do that to him. First of all, Luke Evans looks good. So, okay, I was like, speaking of old, let's talk about Luke Evans, who is opening up about falling in love with his rugby coach. And who his rugby coach ended up falling for, which made him feel a little sad on the inside. Hold on. There was one pitch I wanted to pull up, and I was like, "Oh no, that might be too much. YouTube gonna take it down because it looked like it was giving peen, print, and all that." I was like, "I ain't doing that to myself." So actor and singer Luke Evans opened up about growing up a homosexual and realizing he had a crush on one of his teachers despite not even knowing what being gay meant. Now, Evans, who is best known for his roles in Beauty and the Beast, Fast and the Furious 6, and Dracula Untold, grew up in Wales and played rugby at school, but it might not have been the riveting gameplay that drew him to the sport. Excuse me. Now, speaking on the Great Company podcast with Jamie Liang, Evans said that the coach in question was a giant of a man. Oh, who doesn't like a strong hunk of a man? Well, I don't know. I see the clip. I do have it. I don't necessarily know if, because this will be the first time I'm actually watching it with you guys. I didn't watch the actual clip. So hopefully he mentions it in here. If he doesn't, then I'll just read y'all what he had to say. So I just want to preface it by letting you guys know. So hold on. Let's play the clip and then we'll come back and talk. So
you were bullied at school. You kind of always said, well, there's something wrong with the bullies because you were loved so much. You knew you were okay.
And I don't know how, because I didn't have anyone to talk to about the words they used to call me, right? It was horrible.
What were they calling you?
Like a shirt lifter, which is like the amalgam of the two things. I questioned a lot about myself. But there was a point when I just thought, well, I know there's more than this shitty little school with these nasty little fuckers all around me. That's what kept me going.
Have you ever come in contact with any of the bullies again?
No,
Never.
Maybe they've reached out through social media. I mean, anybody can, as you know.
Would you forgive?
Yes, I guess I forgive them. Yeah. I'd love them to ask for it, though. On their knees. Please forgive me for calling you
I reckon they're looking at you now and going, fuck.
Yeah. Imagine like that little skinny kid, and now look what he's fighting Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel in the back of an Antonov aeroplane. It's
the
crazy.
ultimate revenge success. When you were bullied at school, you kind of always said, well, there's something wrong with the bullies.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I always said success is the best revenge. So apparently the clip didn't have that. But I do have what he said. Now they said that the guy was a proper rugby player, but a teacher by day. Now he was good looking, he had big muscles, and he had a sports car with my name Luke written on the seatbelt. That's what he said, laughing. And then he says, and I remember thinking, holy, obviously I didn't think those words because I was 9 or 10 or whatever, but I was like, what is this? Evan said that he wasn't particularly questioning whether or not he was a homosexual because that wasn't a concept that he was even aware of, but he had felt something he hadn't felt before. And yeah, that usually happens when you got them feelings for someone of the same sex. You start feeling a little tingling sensation and you start being like, ooh, what is this? And why am I intrigued by you? It's not like it's a sexual thing. You just want to be around that person, but it's in a subconscious level, it's you coming to terms that you're attracted to this physique of a man that you're looking at. And I think that was kind of like my first time when I discovered I like men. I was like, oh, who is that? And then you see this guy with like, perfect muscles and a nice butt, and you see like the pain print and the scruffiness and the dark hair and the smoky eyes. And it's like, oh, I just want to, you don't know why you want to be near that. You just want to. And it's like, it's just this connection that you have. Not that it wants to be sexual in any way, but it's you, I guess, trying to figure out your orientation. And then the worst thing is like what Luke was saying was that when you have the bullies at school who call you all these names, and then you're like 9 or 10, and you're being called, where I was called like a C sucker and the F word and all this other stuff. And you don't know what that stuff means. When people say, oh, you act like a girl and you do this and you do that. And then it's like you start to realize the first time in your life that that's wrong. And then you try to do whatever you can to try to dim the light that you have that makes you eccentric and grand in who you are. You start to kind of shrink down and want to dim that light because you have people around you who make what you're projecting seen as a negative. And you don't even understand what that means. So you're being called these names before you even figure out who the hell you are. So he said a lot of gay kids working themselves out are not surrounded by stories of gay love. It's difficult when you're that young trying to figure yourself out. And Luke and I both in our 40s, so we definitely understand that. Like when we were growing up, we didn't have things that we could look at where we could be somewhat relatable or people that we could look up to. Now, I feel like a lot of kids, some people would say it's probably not enough, but y'all had way more than we had when I was growing up. We didn't really have that many queer people that we could look up to. There were little things. It was Wilson Cruz in My So-Called Life. We had Queer as Folk. We had Noah's Ark. I had, what was the other one? Marco from freaking Degrassi. Like there were certain characters you could look at. It was like, there's a relatability there. It's like you see somebody who was like you on the screen and what you may have also went through growing up. So then he also said, and this is the crazy part, the rugby coach he had a crush on, he said he was interested in Evans's mother, which put a damper on his crush. That could be the most heartbreaking. Like, damn, you don't want me, but you want my mama? Now, Evans first came out to his parents when he was 19, which resulted in an excommunication from the Jehovah's Witness Church, which was how he was raised. So, when some people was saying earlier, because I remember I was having a conversation about David Archuleta, and people feel like he's almost very childlike in the way he behaves, even though he's in his 30s. And I'm like, he was a Mormon. He grew up a Mormon. And, a lot of times when you are deeply indoctrinated in certain organized religions, it takes people a minute to come out of that. to evolve into the other thing and to come into their own version of adulthood. But he also said that he previously said that he felt deep conflict about hiding his sexuality. So later in his 20s, he publicly came out in an interview with The Advocate. And they also said that he's dating Fran Tomas, with whom he shares a clothing line called BDXY. Well, look, I hope that relationship lasts, child, because, you know, the worst thing that you could possibly do is get in a relationship with somebody and y'all sharing, y'all have a company together. Because if y'all do that and y'all break up, then you got to figure out, you know, what y'all going to do. So this was the picture. I said, this one might be a little inappropriate. It's like, ooh, hey, Luke, with that body, yada, yada. So, yeah, I say all this to say, just giving y'all, you know, I always like to find ways to give a little bit of my story within someone else's story. So, what do you guys think of this story in regards to like him talking about his childhood, you know, crush being on his rugby coach, and also talking about, you know, the homophobia he had to endure growing up in Wales from a lot of the, you know, the kids who were bullying him and calling him these disgusting names. So I definitely want to hear from you guys in regards to that. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Anna says there was a trend going around on TikTok where young homosexuals would say who their homosexual awakening was. Yeah, you know, I play that game a lot. I was like, who was mine? You said yours was Justin Bieber, Harry Styles, and Tom Holland as Spider-Man. My childhood crush growing up, where it was like, oh, what is that feeling? Was Chris O'Donnell in Batman. I don't know which one it was. I think, was he in the one with George Clooney? Look, the one with the bat nipples. That was the one. When I seen him in that costume as Robin, I was like, okay. And then you saw the ass in the costume. I was like, what is this feeling? And why do I want to dive through this screen and do nasty things with him at such a young age that I was? So Chris O'Donnell was definitely my childhood crush growing up. But oh, it's funny. Ian Duncan's asking me what was mine. What was yours? But yeah, that was like the 90s. So he said, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Who was y'all big crush growing up? And yeah, Tom Holland is cute, but yeah, I still look at him like he's 12. So the homophobic bullies at school always knew more about being gay than exactly, because deep down they're like in the, you know, got those feelings. And I remember hearing stories of people saying like, yeah, my childhood crush would bully, I mean, the people that would bully me, that would call me all these names, would secretly want to do sexual things. And I've heard those stories of things happening like that with people. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I played that game before where it's like, and I always found that to be the most fun, where it's like, who was your childhood boy, you know, your homosexual awakening? All right, guys, so we are at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. If you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Whatever latest news, celebrity news, and gossip is going on, we'll talk about that. Hold on. Not Kirk Cameron. Funnily enough, a friend of mine posted a picture of Kirk Cameron and said that, child, he looked like he rotten. Like he's rotting. I said he literally looks dead. And yeah, he looked like rotten milk. But I definitely understand why you're saying that. It was like, yeah, first of all, who didn't like Mike Seaver on Growing Pains? I remember that show. I used to watch it. And, you know, everybody was living for him. He was sort of like the Michael J. Fox of that show. Like real popular at that time. But then, you know, him and his even lunatic of a damn sister, they're so radicalized within their religion and Jesus freaks and all that other mess that, yeah, they've turned a lot of people off in regards of a lot of their beliefs and stuff within religion and how they've come across talking about, you know, a lot of people. And now I'm gagging because I did not know our new Secretary of Transportation, the person who replaced Pete Booty Plug, is that idiot from the fucking real world, Sean, who's married to Rachel Campos. Remember Sean back in the day? I forget what season he was on. But yeah, he's our Secretary of Transportation. I'm like, are y'all kidding me? Now we got realities. We got a reality star for a president. We got all these people who are not qualified to be doing the jobs that they doing to be hosting stuff. He said nowadays he's rotting from the inside out. And he looked like he's rotting before our very eyes. He is not aging well. But that's what happens when you hate on people and forget to moisturize. So yeah. So once again, we're at the end of the show. I'll be back on tomorrow with the latest episodes. Thank you all for in the comments who was tuning in and making comments in regards of like the live stream and all other stuff. I will be putting posts, once this is done, the live stream. I'll definitely be putting in the timestamp so that way y'all can follow along whatever topics I want to jump to for those of you who are going to come in after the live stream and all that good stuff. So love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.